Hey, hey. Hey, guys. What's up? What's going on, guys? Good evening. Just give me a minute. Let me find the chat. This says private chat. I don't know. Um, I don't usually go live this way. I usually go live where I'm cammed up. So I'm just trying to figure out how to get to the chat, pretty much. Um, oh, whoopsie. Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday evening. Reminds me of an old Sheryl Crow album, Tuesday Night Music Club. It's not a music club, but it is Tuesday night. Hey, Melly. How are you? How's it going, Melly? How you doing? Oh, so yeah, I'm doing an open panel tonight. So anybody is welcome. If anybody would want to come up and just say hi, you want to shoot the breeze for a while, or if you have anything in particular that you want to talk about, a certain topic, certain things that you've been through in life, anything at all. Hey, true crime latest, how are you? Melly, I'm doing good. I'm doing all right, hanging in there. Um, okay. So I wanted to figure out how to put the link in chat. Let me figure this out. Oh, I guess that would be it, where it says copy link. Might be easier than I thought. Let's see. Copy link, and then I guess post comment. True crime latest. Noah did such a great job cooking earlier. I loved watching him. Okay, maybe it didn't copy. One sec. Good and stuffed. All right. Nice. Aw, that's awesome. Hey, K Bear's mama. How are you? How's it going tonight? One sec. I think, oh yeah. Let's see. Yeah, hey, look at that. I figured it out. I put the link in the chat. If anybody would like to come up and join the panel, tonight is the night. Feel free. You can come up. No topics really off limits as long as you keep it respectful. Um, if you just want to like talk about anything, really, anything that's going on in your life, talk about parenting, things that you've been through, whatever. If you'd like to. If not, then I'm more than happy to just hang out and talk to you guys. This is like a different thing for me. I usually am always cammed up. So I feel as if, like, I don't know, I feel as if I might not be able to put on as much of a show while not being on camera, but we'll see. It might go better than usual. It might go better. It might go worse. We'll see. And I've never done an open panel, so this will be a first also. Yeah, it's kind of like open friends panel, like people that I'm at least somewhat familiar with. Like if I've never seen your name before in chat, I'm not sure if I'm really going to let you on panel because I just want to like make sure. Oh, thanks, True Crime Latest. Just want to make sure I don't get like P bombed or anything like that. So just to guard my channel and everything. Yeah. Yeah. Trying to get the kids to sleep. Yeah. I know. Mine is still up, but she hangs out late. She's in the other room with my husband. Yeah. So what's going on, guys? A lot of drama going on these YouTube streets, huh? I know. Feels like things are going to come to a head, I think, one way or the other. Yeah, I don't know. A lot going on. So, I see Paige Noel is live. Damn, I didn't want to miss that. I was hoping she was going to go live, tell you the truth. You're backstage, True Crime Latest? Oh, okay.
Hello, Tara.
Hey, how are
How's
you?
everyone? I'm good. I'm good.
Oh,
Finally got
great.
the little one settled, and I knew you were going live, and I'm like, I'm gonna catch Tara tonight. So I'm glad I did.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you decided to hop on.
Yeah. Oh, I thought little one was settled. He just walked out of the bedroom. Yes, I'm on with Tara, baby. Sorry. Okay,
Aw.
he'll be quiet now. He just needed a drink. So, what is new with you? What's going on with you?
Not much. It's I tell you, things have been so like peaceful in my life ever since I've been like separated from the drama community at large, you know. Things have just been really peaceful.
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
know.
I
I
get that
know.
completely. I come from the true crime community, and I
Right.
didn't even know there was a drama community. I had no clue.
Okay.
And, obviously my thing started with Michelle um,
Right.
over Molly, which was true crime. And
Right.
then somehow I found this community, and so most of my interaction has went from true crime just to doing a few things about her. But I'm
Sure.
trying to get back away from that, trying to get
I
more to
know.
what I'm used to doing.
Right. Oh, so how long were you doing true crime before you got into this BS?
I don't know if anyone's heard of this story, but if anybody's interested in some true crime, here's
No, I
kind of a
am.
fascinating case for you. Okay. There was a girl,
Totally.
she's out of Minnesota. Minnesota is where she was. She was adopted
Okay.
and lived with her birth parents till she was 14 years old. She's on the spectrum, and
Okay.
her name's Savannah Leckie, Leckie. Um, the adopted parents had been divorced for years, and mom was dating a new guy, and it wasn't a good relationship. So they give Savannah back to birth mom to bring to Southwest Missouri. Um, and birth mom doesn't even have a job. She lives with no running water, no electricity,
Oh,
just
no.
not a good situation.
Right.
And the girl was homeschooled, so she wasn't getting her interactions. She wasn't getting
Right.
her therapy. She wasn't getting anything like that. Um, you know, Adopted moms not sending money down to meet any of her needs. I mean, it's just a really sad case. Me and a friend of mine, and I want to say this was 2016. I'm not sure. They just had the
Oh,
trial not long
okay.
ago. But 2016, 2017. And little girl, Savannah, supposedly goes missing. This is after some horrific stories of things that were being done to her. But adopted parents just don't care. They're not involved whatsoever. And anyway, supposedly she come up missing, and adopted mom was lighting fires to bring her home. Some kind of old saying. I think it's like witches or something like that. Light a fire and they'll find their way home. Something like that.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Natural born
so
leader. Hey, Gemma.
um, they, me and a friend of mine, we put on a not a celebration of life, but just a, I don't know what you would call it. We put on an event. She was still missing. Savannah was still missing. She was still missing. So it was just more of
Oh
an awareness
no.
type thing. Um, Eventually, the little
Okay, yeah.
girl was found. The bones was, um, the body was what was being burnt by the adopted mom.
Oh no.
So, being adopted, Noah's adopted, being on the spectrum, it just really spoke to me, that case. And birth
Oh, I
mom,
could
they didn't
imagine.
they didn't know how birth mom did it, so she was found not guilty of murder, but
Ugh,
she was abuse of a corpse. So if anybody's interested in it, it's a great read. Her name's Savannah Lecky. She
Savannah
was out of
Leckie.
Minneapolis, Minnesota, but
Okay.
she was, all this happened in South Missouri. Um, she was held in Taney
Jeez.
County for a long time, which is Branson, but I think it was actually Forsyth. I can't remember the name of the town that we did the vigil at, but it was right outside the area. It was
Oh
very rural,
wow.
you know. So that's what got me involved. That one
Okay.
right there.
And this was back in 2017, you said?
I believe so. Just off the top of my head. I
Okay.
don't know if anybody, I'm going to put Savannah's name in the chat.
Oh
If
yeah,
anybody
great
wants to
idea.
Google it and let us know exactly when it was, because if I try to, it's going to kick me out. But it's just something pretty interesting. Birth mom or adopted mom never shed a tear. It's the most crazy case. And adopted mom had married like four different men, and
Mhm.
it was just devastating. The little girl was in a mental hospital, and mom runs off to
Right.
Vegas. The adopted mom runs off to Vegas and marries a man that was still married to someone else. It was, you want to talk about drama. It was
Ugh.
crazy, crazy, crazy.
Oh man,
So,
yeah, that's the thing that a lot of these true crime cases have like such major dramatic details involved that once you get into it and you're like, wait a minute, A, B, and C happened, and D, and it's just like there's everything in one story and you can't even believe it?
well,
Something.
how do you raise a child for 14 years and just have a new man in your life? And because she's a little challenging because she's on the spectrum, you just say, "Oh, I'm done with you,"
Yeah,
and give her back to
it
birth
doesn't
mom.
even it
And,
doesn't
and
even make sense.
knowing it wasn't a good environment. Mom didn't have a job. The birth mom didn't have a job. She supposedly made soap and sold at farmers markets.
Oh,
Um, there was talks vats of lye, to make soap with, and just so much
oh,
stuff. But for the
oh yeah, the
adopted family,
line.
they never come down. They have searched. They never really showed any interest with her missing. It was like they were glad she was missing. There were
Oh
options for
my
this little girl.
god.
The adopted family,
Uh,
the grandparents and the aunt would have gladly took her. This wasn't the only option that
oh
was available for
shoot.
Savannah. So,
Right.
adopted mom did go to court. They had the trial, like I said, I'm thinking it was last year. Um, I tend to get years mixed up because the last 3 years for me have kind of been a blur, but it was recent.
Oh, I
And
could relate.
adopted mom took the stand, and it was the most fake, sickening stuff you've ever seen. It
Oh
was just,
wow.
it was pretty crazy. But that's
Uh,
what got me involved. And then Cash Garland, and then Summer Wells. I privated most of those
oh,
videos. Um,
okay.
so many people were making money, and still to this day, and Summer's been missing for 2 years, and they just, there's really no more content, but they
Has it
keep
been two
grasping at straws.
years?
Yes, June 15th was 2 years.
Oh man, I thought it was 1 year. That's crazy the way the time just keeps going by?
Yep.
Oh
Okay, Bears
wow.
Mama got it. Yep, July 20th,
Yes.
2017. That's what I thought.
Thank you, K Bears Mama. Hey, Speculation Station. Hey. Well, I tell you, I
Yeah.
just started looking into a lot of these true crime cases. What I got really hung up on was the whole Shanann Watts thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I
Mhm.
got really hung up on that, even like recently. I mean, when it first happened, I learned a lot about it. But then, just like the past couple of months, because I've had some more free time on my hands, that was when I started looking into it more. And it's just crazy. It's just so
When you take
crazy.
those deep dives, that's where you I mean, I had Savannah's adopted family. They weren't really nice to me. You know, they weren't. They didn't like because I was stirring up noise, I was stirring up it hadn't hit social media.
Oh, wow.
It did finally make Nancy Grace one time, but I nobody could understand why there wasn't more outrage, why there wasn't any media coverage, why there wasn't really anything on poor little Savannah. And
Yeah.
when you take those deep dives, all the things I had, the adopted mom's one of her ex-husbands contacting me, and he was trying to get custody of his children from her. And I mean, it was so crazy. He sent me over like a
Uh,
390 pages of discovery of stuff against the adopted mom. It was just crazy.
oh, my
So
God.
it when you take those deep dives, I mean, we all hear about certain cases, um,
Yeah.
but when you really deep dive and you start picking things apart, it's so multi-layered, you know, and it can
Totally.
be. You have to step back and take a break from it, because it will really
Well,
wear
yeah.
you down.
Yeah,
So
that's what I would imagine. I was even talking to my husband about like doing true crime, and I was like, wow, I tell you, I don't know if I could cover that stuff all the time, like regularly. I think it would actually like really take a toll on my mental health eventually. I
it
mean,
absolutely will. Yes, it will. You're talking about missing and deceased kids, or women or men, or whatever. It really will get to you. It can really
yeah,
take a toll. But once you get in it, you're so enthralled in it, and you want to share it with everyone. You're like, oh my goodness, I was just laying in bed tonight, taking a break, and
right,
I found this out, or you get that little
exactly.
piece. So it it can be. But I'm ready to get back to that. I did have someone reach out to me with a case from Germany, and it
Yeah.
seems very interesting, but the language, a lot of it is written in German, and I don't know it, and I don't understand what things are saying.
Oh,
And
okay.
I could kind of probably get myself in some trouble not knowing, the language.
Oh,
For all I
definitely.
know, it could be a hoax. It could be, uh, you know, I would have to Google so much terminology and newspaper
Yeah.
articles and stuff. I want to help the person, but I just, and I got to pass because, yeah, I could be promoting essay or something like that, and not even knowing it
Yeah.
just because I don't
God
know what those
forbid.
words mean.
God
Yeah,
forbid. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Just because of the language barrier, you have to know what you're promoting.
exactly.
That's
Exactly.
true. Yeah. Yeah, the true crime is really interesting though. I mean, I don't know. I was considering maybe covering it in the future, but I'm not sure. It's so much. I know it takes a lot out of you, but the Shanann Watts and the Chris Watts case, like I can't stop thinking about it, honestly. I keep looking into all these details, and it's like I don't understand how he's just sitting in jail and they're like, okay, well, we found him guilty of this. But it's like nobody knows the real story of what happened.
And see, that's the thing, you never really know. You know what's portrayed through social media or the news stations, but and even if you talk to him himself, he's going to give you a version. You know,
I know.
it's like true
I
crime
know.
shows on TV. They say, well, the husband walked in and he said, how dare you do that? And she said, well, you did something wrong. And then boom, one of them is gone. Well, the cops
Right.
don't really know because they weren't in the house listening. It's all speculation. hey, they got into
Right.
a fight, you know, but you don't know. Even you can be 100% on someone's side and say this person isn't guilty or this one is, and be completely wrong. And even though your
It's
gut tells you, you know,
it's true. Yeah,
it's
definitely.
you just have to
That's
be
true.
objective and look. Like with Summer, for the longest, I could have swore, and I still, it is my belief that it has something to do with the parents. And that can be an associate, but it is because of the entire realm, the entire lifestyle. Do I think that Candace did it? Probably not. I mean, they're not the brightest people, but you know,
Mm,
to me, it does come back to their lifestyle. And I've swatched back and forth 100 times. You know, yeah, they did do
right.
it. Yeah, they didn't do it. You know, you just don't know.
I know. I know. It just makes me sick when I think about like Chris Watts is sitting in jail now, and so everybody's like, okay, he's guilty, but meanwhile, he didn't even say what happened. Like, I mean, he gave an account, but it's so obvious that it's missing all the details and everything, and I don't know, it gets to me. Like, I don't understand this. I feel like there should be a way that we can force these people to like talk and tell us the truth of every single thing that happens and know that they're telling the truth, you know?
Yeah, but you know, they would lie. And then the thing about it is, you got to look the pills and later on down the road, and that's why they don't say anything.
Oh, well, that's
You
true.
know, it should be the one and done. You know,
That's
you get to a trial, and unless it's a technicality or something, you know, I mean, unless it's something legit, you don't get another trial. Guilty is guilty. But then again, to the flip of that,
right.
look at how many people that are innocent that are in jail. So, I mean, everybody's entitled to a defense, you know, their constitutional
Yeah.
right, right or wrong, you know,
Oh, I guess
I
that's what
just,
it is. That's why he's
yeah,
not really talking because he's waiting
mhm.
to try to have an appeal.
That's, you know, these things can be appealed and it can be
Oh,
taken to the, you know, to the different court levels. And, you know,
yeah.
until you get way up there, you haven't exhausted those appeals, or there could be a technicality that comes up years from now. Something was done wrong, but if he
Right.
spoke since then, I don't know.
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, you're right. Honestly, my mind didn't really go there. Sometimes I'm not like the brightest bulb in the bunch. I don't know. And I was like, why isn't he just talking? Like, just say what happened. Like, you're good. You're going to be found guilty. You're going away for the rest of your life. So why don't you just say what the hell happened that night? You know, just give up every
Right.
single detail. Just say it. You know. It was really getting to me, but that's what it is that he feels like maybe in the future, you never know. Even if he gave up, His mama says he gave up his appeals and his deal, but maybe he's thinking that like somewhere along the line, down the line, he'll be able to appeal. They'll change the laws or anything, you know?
Yes, or a
Mhm.
technicality will come up. Yeah,
And it might,
something. You
it
know,
might,
you never know. It. You know what's the law? It is what it is. Whether I mean, I don't know. In Colorado, their
yeah,
laws are a lot different too. I seen something today to where um, in Colorado, you know, if you don't pay a hospital bill, and which is hard for a lot of people. Yeah, I don't know anybody that doesn't have a hospital bill on their credit report. You know,
right.
sometimes we get sick and we're hit with the 10, 15, $20,000 hospital bill, and it goes on our credit. Colorado has now made it to where they can't put it on your credit.
Oh,
So
wow.
Colorado, you know, Colorado. I love Colorado, but we've got a lot of different people from different areas moving in, and Colorado is constantly changing. So that's just kind of one instance, and that's the first that I've heard of any state, you know, excluding a hospital bill from your credit file. So we have no idea what Colorado is going to do in the future, or you know, who knows?
Well,
Just
yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. Well. It's so crazy, you know. I don't know. I don't
And
know enough about the law. That's what it is. I'm like, I got into all these true crime cases and everything, and I learned all details and everything about them. But I don't know enough about the law, I guess, to really be able to pick things apart. Yeah, that's what it is. I need to learn
you
some
know,
more about the law.
most state statutes you can um are available online. I mean, when you get into that deep and you're looking up statutes and everything, yeah, it gets to you. But
Yeah,
you never know
yeah.
what's going to happen. We none of us can predict the future. If we
Oh, I
could, I'd win
know.
that Mega Millions, and we'd all be took care of,
I know. I know. They say we make plans and God laughs, you know?
Oh yeah, yeah,
And it's true. Hey, Aaron Eberhard, welcome. Yeah, that's funny. I came to YouTube to the live chat section at least after the whole Dre McCrae case because I was following
yeah,
that a little bit on Facebook. And then on YouTube, I was already following like Katie Joy. And so I learned about it from her, Katie Joy. And then she got into Molly Golightly. I think she had her on her panel one night. And that was how I figured out who Molly Golightly was, you know? And then
yeah.
from there, that was how I met Michelle and got the whole drama community business, you know?
Same with me. That's how I found the drama in the community. Me and Michelle went on it on Molly. She reached out to me. I was in the Facebook group, the for Vaughn, and then
Okay.
she reached out to me that way, and because she seen me in Molly's chat, and yeah, that's how that all come about too.
Right, right. Because I remember seeing your video back from like a year ago that you had, I
Yeah,
think there was one video of you with Michelle like together on panel or something where you were on the phone
uh,
together.
yeah, we were on the phone. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because
or
she was
maybe it was,
doing the same thing. Yeah,
yeah, and that was probably about a year ago already, you know?
it was right before she got her channel. It was about this time because
Yeah.
we listed the house, I think August the 12th, somewhere around in there, and then we closed September 9th. So it was about this time last year. But
Okay.
yeah, she was doing the same thing that she did to you. She was messaging me, and if I didn't answer the phone or something, it was only a couple of times I had spoke with her, and
Right.
it was all about her and how she was rope certified, and she was just so adamant about a rope and a brick and it won't fray,
Yeah.
and just the
Yeah.
nonsense. She was going to get her point across to anybody that would listen.
Oh, I
And
know. I know. I don't know. Maybe she
oh
thought like that was going to be her, like her moment, you know? That was going to be her
yeah,
moment.
she was going to solve a crime. She said she even contacted the sheriff's department and she recorded a
No.
video of it and she sent it to the sheriff's department and the fire department.
No.
Missy,
Wait, what? When?
yes, yes. The same
When?
time all this, that's why she was reaching out to me. She was pissed at Molly because Molly would not listen to her, and she paid for the Patreon. But she did the video. You remember on Justin's panel or Molly's? I don't remember. They were all
Yeah.
LB. All of them were on the same. I don't remember which one it was live. They were bouncing back and forth,
Yeah.
so each channel got the views.
Oh
But
yeah.
she
I
was
was
on there
watching every
trying to
night.
show them, that the rope won't fray and the craziness. But she actually did a recreation video and sent it because she was going to crack this case open.
Yeah. And such a gadget.
She was going to save the day. It was crazy. I don't know
Oh
if
my.
anybody remembers the island, and she was on. Oh gosh, what's his name? Oh,
Dolly. Dolly Vision.
Yeah, on dollies and all sorts. Oh yeah, and it was crazy. She made the
Yeah.
rounds. made the round. She tried to get into the true crime, but true crime, nobody in true crime was having anything to do with her.
Right.
You
Yeah,
know, I
because
really go ahead.
but she couldn't maintain herself to be civil enough to do true crime, you know? She can't be
No,
respectful and civil and normal enough to do true crime.
no.
That's what it
Oh,
is.
she's even much for the drama community.
Exactly. She's too much for the damn drama community. They kicked her out of there and said, "You're too dramatic." That's actually true.
Yeah. I mean, she's the first person the only person I've known in the drama community, but I'm like, oh my gosh, come on.
I know. I know
Uh,
it. And I remember Molly saying, "That's it. I'm sending you to the drama community. I'm done with you." And in my head, I was like, "What's the drama community?"
I let that go after I made that video. I never said anything else about Michelle. I went on with my life. And
Yeah.
then one
Yeah.
day I was going on YouTube, and then Michelle's got a channel, and she's and oh my gosh, I'm like, what in the world? I closed my eyes
Yeah.
and dealt with life for a month, and what's going on here?
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh yeah. She took YouTube by storm, and it's
oh
a
yeah,
shame. And she could have behaved herself. She could have tried to just, control herself somewhat. She could have had a successful channel. She could have, but that was not going to happen. Not in the cards for
she's not built
Michelle.
that way. She's
Yeah, no,
she's she's always right. I mean, there is no constructive criticism with that one.
right.
Um,
And God knows I
it's
tried to help her. I
yeah.
actually tried to help her, like trying to tell her if you could just try to control yourself even 50%, just tone it down 50% and you'd be all right, she just would not listen. Like you got to be over
I
the top.
could have dealt with the overreactive personality, but the lies, well,
Yeah, yeah. I think
that was
it's like I don't even know if it's part of like a narcissistic personality disorder combined with something else. um Somebody was saying histrionic personality disorder.
yeah.
It's still have you looking up like psychological stuff and everything to try to figure out what the hell is wrong with this lady, you know.
Yeah. Look, I'm sure there have been many professionals that haven't figured it out.
Yeah, totally.
and
Oh, I
and
bet. I
I
bet.
don't think we're gonna be the one to figure it out.
No. Nope, for real. It's so
Yeah, we're not
crazy.
gonna be the like she was gonna solve Fawn's case. We're not gonna solve the Michelle case.
Yeah, so crazy.
Yeah, I did see that Dre is back doing videos and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, she is. I'm so curious to know how Vaughn really is or what the case is. I know there was so much stuff going around that he passed on. I mean, I don't know if I believe it. I don't know what to believe.
You know, police aren't dumb. They do this. That's my thing. The police are not idiots. Don't you think they as many people that was calling, especially anytime something suspicious, they automatically, really look into things. And
Oh
I
yeah.
just, you know, I don't know. Yeah, we know Michelle's back on YouTube, but she's not going to go live.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. I
Mm-mm.
don't think so. I don't know what it is that really that's preventing her, whether it's like an IP Google ban or whether maybe ATN did say to her, listen, I'm not going to help you out at all if you continue to go live. Those are the two theories that I heard kind of being passed around. So I don't know.
But he's under no legal obligation to. I mean,
No.
she shot at this man in his own house that he's paying for. Come on.
Dude, how crazy is that? I mean, she
I mean,
brushed it off. She brushed it off like that was totally normal behavior, you know?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
um, I'm not gonna say much on that. I'm gonna go live in the next few days, and I've got a little bit of information. So, uh,
Okay. All right, cool. Sounds good.
but
I'll be
um,
looking forward to it.
I don't know. It, it is what it is. I think in the beginning, I thought, well, ATN's got to be pretty respectful. You know, by law, he didn't have to pay her alimony. He didn't have to do the things he did. And I said, well,
No, he
maybe he
didn't
felt
have
sorry
to.
for her. You know, all this. And I'm like, no. And now I'm just like, he's an idiot.
I
I
know.
mean, I don't, and that's what happens with addictions. It can be alcohol or drugs or
Yeah.
whatever, gambling, sex. I mean, there's many, many type of it. There's YouTube addictions too.
Oh yeah,
There's,
it's true.
there's, Mhm. That you figure when you've got two people that aren't quite functional, um, as society would expect them to be. I don't know. There's who knows, but I don't think because ATN, he's free now. He's not obligated. Why didn't he tell her this before the divorce? You know, I mean,
Right.
now he can legally have her evicted because she's not paying the bills, and he can do all that now. So I don't think it's ATN. I think it's her supposed new man Jay, who lives in South Carolina, but he's stationed at Fort Bragg, which is North Carolina. I think it's just a ploy. She needs people to keep talking about her. Um,
Yeah.
that's all it is. And I'm just surprised she hasn't had the balls enough to confront me. But she won't have nothing to do with me.
I know. I know. Yeah. I noticed that too. She hasn't come into your channel or anything.
She did with Piston and Piston for a minute,
Oh,
and
okay.
she said that she was on the phone with Kevin and she was suing him and all, and it's fair even released the video, the voice of him, but um, I never heard anything else from her since then. She hasn't commented, she hasn't done anything. So
Right.
it is what it is.
Good. Just as well. She really doesn't. She doesn't really make her rounds. It seems like only on ski masks, and that's it. You know. Oh, I dropped the link. Hey, there's Mama. You can come up if you want. Hey, there's
Yeah,
Mama.
I don't feel that she just knows everybody's gonna call her out. Ski won't call her out. That's why she goes there.
What's oh that he won't call her out? Yeah, yeah, and
Right.
she's used. Yeah, if he does, it's just in his own way that she's used to, and she could handle that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it is. I do wonder though about Vaughn. I think about him a
I,
lot, and
I
you
know.
know, like there were so many rumors going around, and honestly, I was pissed off because I was like, even if that was true, if Dre is not announcing it, then just shut up about it. Like she does.
Well,
She's his wife.
me and another person, we have both different theories. I was adopted too at birth, and
Okay.
I met my birth mom when I was 13, and I I'm like Dre when it comes to that. She wasn't there. She didn't do any. I mean, my birth mom when I met her, she my sister was adopted too, and when we met her, all she would say was, "Oh, I wanted to keep you," to my other sister, and she wouldn't pay me the time of day.
Oh my
You
God.
know, and it led to me. She would come down and visit like once a month, and
Mm.
it was always about my sister and never about me. And she made up a bunch of stories about who my dad was, and she never had anything to do with me. So I left home and got married. At 14.
Oh
I refused to
well.
be around that woman. I refused to. And
Okay.
so I can see Vaughn's side of it, mom not being there.
Yeah.
I mean, it was portrayed that, oh my God,
Yeah.
she won't let his mom see him, but that woman wasn't. in my opinion, I don't consider Letitia his mother.
Right.
Just because you birth something doesn't make you a
Right.
mother.
He did
Noah's
not
adopted.
have, yeah, he didn't have a
You
close. Go ahead. Sorry.
you have to want that child, want to interact with that child, and want to be healthy with that child, not just, oh, that's my child. You that's just
Right.
a word. Mom, that's just a word.
It's so
Love,
true.
attention, affection, those are actions. That's just my
Right.
opinion on that from my experience.
Oh, totally. Yeah. I'm sorry you went through that. That sucks. Um, K-Bear's mama is backstage. I'm gonna bring
She's
her up.
backstage.
Is that okay with you?
Absolutely. That's my friend
Okay.
there.
All right, cool. Just wanted to check. Um, Oops. One sec, K-Bear's mama. And-
Good evening, ladies.
Hello.
Hey, good evening.
I'm outside, so
Welcome.
if it's too noisy, let me know and I'll go inside. I just want to give my kids a chance to go to sleep.
Okay, you sound good so far.
So, how are you guys tonight?
We're good. Hanging out, talking. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm stoked that you're kind of close. We got to get you
Oh,
up. We got to get you up in Oster County and up where I live.
yes. Oh my God. I forgot that was you, that you said you're in Ellenville, right?
I'm near Ellenville.
That
Yeah.
is so cool. I love it upstate. I love it upstate and I hate it in the city now.
See, I was thinking of taking a New York trip through one of the nonprofits for the widows. And Kay Bear was telling me, I was like, I'll be in New York City. And she's like, you'll be closer to Tara than you are to me. She's like, maybe
Oh,
you can
that's
connect with
true.
Tara when you're there. So, yeah, you guys are pretty close to each other.
I'm an hour and a
Yeah,
half from the bridge to get into the city. I'm in
right.
Yeah, that
Parental.
makes sense. Yeah.
It would be probably like 2.5 hours from me to you. I
Uh,
think when my dad used to come to visit me in Ellenville, he said that it would take him like about 2.5 hours, I think, from Brooklyn to Ellenville.
The
Yeah.
traffic.
Yeah, I guess so.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So we all have autistic children here.
Oh,
My
you do
um,
too?
my autistic son is 13. I mean not 13, 16. He was
Okay.
diagnosed at age 3. When were your kids diagnosed?
Oh, I'm
Noah
sorry,
was
I couldn't.
diagnosed. I'm sorry. Go ahead,
Go
Tara.
ahead. Sorry, I couldn't hear when you said what age your son was diagnosed, K-Bear.
At age,
You're kind of breaking up a little bit.
and he's 16 now, so for 13 years.
So,
Oh, for
3. He
13
was
years.
diagnosed.
Okay.
And what about you ladies?
Noah was
Good.
officially diagnosed at 3. They wouldn't give an official diagnosis until 3, but I knew at 6 months old something wasn't right.
Um, oh, really?
Yeah, Noah, starting at about 3 months old, that kid would scream 24 hours a day. He wouldn't sleep. You couldn't touch him. You couldn't. Yeah, we knew.
Oh,
And
wow.
we started going through the screenings, and Noah didn't sleep till he was 6.
Oh no.
So, yeah, we
Oh,
knew. And he wasn't hitting the milestones.
okay,
Um,
right. Yeah.
but they wouldn't diagnose till he was 3.
Yeah. Evelyn was also diagnosed at age 3. I guess that's when they
Yeah,
give a formal diagnosis. They won't do it before then. She was also
yeah,
so all of them were diagnosed at age 3. And
correct.
yeah, we noticed like milestones, like walking. She started walking a little bit after her first birthday. When did yours both start walking?
Um, about 1.5. He
Okay.
My son, he even crawling was delayed, so he didn't start crawling until maybe about one, and he had, we call it the hook leg, where when he crawled, one leg was behind him, and he was only moving that one leg with his arms.
Okay.
So he crawled until
Hmm.
one, and then started walking around one and a half.
Right. And what about
Noah,
Noah?
Noah at 10 months old was completely sedentary. He didn't set up. He didn't move. It was almost like he was paralyzed. He didn't roll over. He didn't do anything. And we put him into therapy with, I don't know, like here it's child development where I live.
Where I live,
And they worked with him, but within about 2 weeks, he set up with them one day. He rolled over. The next day, he started crawling. The next day, he pulled up to the couch and would walk holding onto the couch. He was walking at 12 months old,
oh,
but it
Okay.
took him forever to get to any of that. But then, in like just a couple of weeks, he had it all down.
Like all in
So,
one
and like the
spurt.
same with talking. So,
Huh. Interesting. And then what about like with speech?
we put Noah into speech. He didn't do the baby talk, the gaga, goo goo, mama, dada. He didn't do any of that. At 18 months old, we started. Well, I'm going to say he was 2. He was probably about 2. And about a month, he did physical, sensory, occupational, and speech. And like I said, about 2 months, I want to say, he went from one day, he started signing, he signed for a few weeks. Just
Oh,
little things like thank you, please, pointing to the cabinets to tell
okay.
me what he wanted. And within a couple of months, it was mama, dad, dad, goo goo gaga, that type stuff. And it seems like it wasn't a week or two later that where he's pointing the cabinet, Mom, I want the orange cup out of the cabinet right now.
Oh well.
So he was very slowed and delayed, but once he got it, he got it. Because like now
Right.
he's going in the 5th grade, but he's at a first grade level
Okay.
as far as reading and writing. Now he was on level up until his dad died. He was in 2nd grade when his dad died, and
I'm sorry for
then
that.
we didn't have school after then. My husband died the end of January, and then COVID.
Oh wow.
So, and then that's when the dyslexia started and everything. Kindergarten, he was always on level. 1st grade, second. So we don't know if it was that lack of schooling because here they didn't do anything. They had to play a little game on the laptop for like 10 minutes a day. There was no instruction whatsoever, no interaction with the teacher.
Okay.
So now he
Okay.
is further behind than he was 3 years ago.
Mm.
But he's
All
super
right.
smart, math and figuring things out. And Noah can
I could
take
tell just
two
from watching him.
he can take 2 sticks in the yard and he can build anything you want to build. I mean, like I had some furniture come in the mail and he puts everything together. I mean, he's super smart with life skills.
Yeah.
Book sense, not so much. So
Mhm. That's awesome. And what about with your son? I didn't know if it's a son or a daughter,
it's a
Countess.
son. His name's Connor. Connor
Okay.
started talking at 3. I have to say in preschool. Before preschool, it was a bunch of grunts where we had to guess what he was trying to communicate. At
Right.
3 was when I first heard "mama," and oh my god, I'll never forget that. Um,
Uh,
thank goodness, that they put him in a preschool that specializes in that diagnosis to help, because at that age he wasn't even potty trained because he couldn't communicate.
right.
So it was very hard to do everything. But at 3, he was the first time he said "mama." Um, and then, as years went on, he's 16 now. He talks, but he has anxiety to where in public or doing this kind of talking, he shuts
Yeah.
down. he shuts
Right.
down and can't handle it, and it's almost like a revert. But I'll never forget at 3 years old when he looked at me and I was expecting a grunt, to try to guess what do you want, and it was mama.
Oh my God.
I,
I'll never forget. It was the cutest thing.
oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
I
Oh wow.
that's
Yeah.
Noah does that same thing. Like he gets embarrassed so easy. That's why I don't mind putting him on the camera because he does get that social interaction. But like he won't stand up and say the Pledge of Allegiance at school. He will not. If the teacher calls on him, he won't speak.
Oh, because
He
he
gets
doesn't.
that anxiety and that nervousness,
Um,
and he turns it to anger. He will lash out or, just anything to get out of the classroom. He'd rather be sit in the principal's office than have to speak in front of the class or
oh
have
my
to do those things.
God. Oh wow. Okay. See
what
now with
about Evelyn?
oh, go ahead, K Bear. What was that?
I said, what about Evelyn? When did she first speak?
So she started forming her words at like around 1. She started forming like the word blue. I was wearing a blue shirt one day, and she was like, "Buh, buh, buh," pointing at my shirt. I know she was trying to say blue, and then She did mama and dada and like baba, just simple words, all between like maybe 8 months and 1 or 1.5. And then we noticed that like by 2, she wasn't really picking up too many new words at all, and she was our first and only child, so like we didn't really have anything to compare it to. So I didn't realize that, like, I don't know, by the time she was 2.5, she only had a few words. And I didn't realize until I was on the train one day and I saw another little kid that looked to be around her age, definitely had to be the same age. And they were talking to their parents, like using a bunch of regular words in sentences. And I was like, what the hell? And I looked at Vinny, my husband, and I was like, wow, that child must be exceptionally friggin' gifted or something, huh? And he's like, no, I think most kids around that age are saying all those words. And I was like, well, she looks to be around Evelyn's age. And basically, that was like a wake up moment to both of us. And I was like, oh, shoot, you think she's supposed to have more words than she does? And so, like, I was upset about it. And so he took her to the doctor. Honestly, at that time, I was still in my active addiction. So I was using, and like, I wasn't even really able to mentally comprehend all this stuff. And he took her to the doctor, and she got a diagnosis. I mean, the doctor couldn't give a formal diagnosis, but like according to everything, they're like it most likely is autism. And when my husband came home, I flipped out, and I was like, "What are you talking about? Don't even tell me this. I don't want to hear it." Like I was so mad, and I don't know, like maybe it, like what the emotions really were that I was channeling into this anger at him. But like I just didn't want to hear it. I was thinking all this stuff, and like so then like um by 4 or 5 though, she was using a whole bunch of other words. And so now you see like she has all of her words, but it's like she uses a lot of echolalia. So I don't know if you guys, like, if your kids use this also. The echolalia is the scripting or the parroting, like the repetition of like parts of speech, like a certain part of like SpongeBob. She might recite that whole conversation over and over. And it's a form of communication for her, but it's like, she'll just keep reciting the same things over and over. And people might even ask her in public, to repeat herself or something as if she was addressing them. And so, like, she has all of her words. It's just like I'm not able to have a conversation with her exactly in the way that I wish that I could, honestly. I'll admit it. But so, do you guys have any echolalia going on with your kids, or?
Nor will do some random things like that. But hey, don't beat yourself up over that, Tara, because you know exactly what Evelyn's asking for, and you know what she's doing, and you know what she's saying, and she's still communicating with you. I wouldn't
She
take that as
is.
a bad thing. I
It's
mean, you
not.
know exactly. I mean, and with their own kids, we get that and we understand because they're our kids. I
Right.
wouldn't. You know what she wants. You know what she's doing. I've seen her to where she'll repeat, and I think it's the sweetest thing where you're saying
Aw.
hey to somebody in chat, and she'll repeat that, and it's absolutely adorable.
Aw,
Absolutely
thank you.
adorable.
It's adorable.
So.
Thank you.
Connor used to, I guess he grew out of it around middle school. So maybe 11, 12. He kind of grew out of it, um,
Oh,
with
really?
speech and, all his therapies.
Right.
But I
It's
used
a
to have,
speech
let's
therapy.
call my little parrot, where it was like, and that's why Evelyn makes me smile, because I see my son in her. How old
Aw.
is Evelyn? Like I said, mine is 16, so he's almost an adult.
Okay, yeah. She's 13.
Okay,
It
so
gets better with age.
she'll
Yeah.
grow out of it. If not, that's a part of her, and I find it charming. Like, it makes me smile.
Aw.
Yes, it does. It does.
Uh, and I love it too. Yeah, I'm used to it. Oh, Millie, that's so funny. Millie says, I was going to ask you about his scripting. My son scripts, but only when he's anxious, and it's usually his favorite movies, and I have to recite my part. Millie, that's so funny because Evelyn wants me to do my parts also. Like, there's a lot of lines and stuff that she'll say, whatever, like Pebbles Flintstone's line, and then she'll look at me because she wants me to say whatever Wilma Flintstone said next. So it's like,
Oh,
she'll be looking at me like, say it, mom. And I was like, I'll have to stop what I'm doing and just say whatever she wants me to say. It's so funny, the scripting. Yeah, I think anxiety does have something to do with it. Um, but yeah, it's just like a natural thing. Yeah, it's a natural thing, and it is communication. Even the speech therapist would have even told me, like don't discredit it. It's so she still has all her words. There's a lot of
yeah,
children that they never get their words. A lot of nonverbal kids too. And so like we all have different ways of communicating. Even though some children are nonverbal, they still communicate though.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there are kids we learn, and I can remember days. And I'll admit this right here. If anybody thinks it makes me a bad person, I'm sorry. I can remember with my husband when Noah was about a year old, and I looked at him and I said, "What do we do? I don't know if I can handle this. I don't." You couldn't console him no matter what you did. He would just cry for 20 hours a day. And I looked at my husband. I said, "What do we do? Do we place him for? What do we do? I mean,
Yeah,
how do we handle this? What do we do?" And I can
right.
just remember feeling so defeated. And this last 6, 8 months has been so much better with Noah, and he's come out of his shell. And I don't know if that's age or circumstance, or we did add a new medication. And I'll tell you what, I actually enjoy life. The first time I can say that I enjoy mine and Noah's relationship to the extent I do. I mean, because I've always enjoyed him, but right
Right.
now I wouldn't change anything in the world. And that's a
Aw,
big plus for us, because I don't have that. What am I doing wrong? Why can't he get it? You know, I
absolutely.
thought it was my fault.
Yeah. For me, Millie,
Thank God.
I felt a failure. Connor would often cry, being frustrated, because he was unable to communicate enough to where I was able to understand his wants and needs. Where he would
Okay.
cry, and then it morphed his crying into violent episodes. And
Yeah.
I wondered and blamed myself. What did I do wrong? Was it the preeclampsia when I was pregnant? Was it this? Was it that? What did I do
Right.
wrong that my baby, and he wasn't a baby at this moment, but they're always your baby. What did I do wrong that my baby is just so unhappy that he's crying, or he's so unhappy that he's just so angry?
Yeah.
And thank goodness for medication. I always thought, oh, I don't want to do medication. I don't want to do that. And I'm glad I'm glad I did, because that changed life for him, to where he's able to, when he gets frustrated, he still spins, but he's able
Okay.
to his room and calm himself down, to where it's not an anger volatile outburst. that could harm me or his siblings. And
Right.
like I said, thank goodness for medication. Not everybody's for it, but if it works, it works.
Oh, I agree. I agree. If it's necessary and it works, then all the better. Yeah. Yeah, that's something that each parent has to make that decision on their own. Some people aren't for it, but when it's absolutely necessary, then it's necessary. And if it can improve his quality of life that much, then it's something worth considering. Yeah.
Like I was in so much denial that about my son's condition that I would blame behaviors and him not understanding things on everybody else. Oh, he didn't
Oh,
school and he did this. It must have been this person's fault that he hung out with. Instead of looking at it as, hey, my baby needs help, it was
yeah.
always, for a long time, I blamed it on outside sources instead of trying to figure out, the proper way to help him.
With Noah, he was just never happy. It didn't matter if he went to Disney. I can remember so many times where, and so many failed attempts where we'd go to the zoo and it was just a miserable time. Or we'd just go to the grocery store and believe me, he would cuss everybody out. He didn't mind dropping the F bomb at
Oh
3
my
years old.
God, really? Oh
Oh, yeah.
wow.
He would gladly tell the old gentleman in front of us to get the F out of the way, that it wasn't his turn. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh
I
no.
apologized so many times, and I would say, I'm sorry, he's autistic, and this is
Oh,
just a part of it. It's not directed at you. And I made so many. I got tired and I said, no, I don't have to
you said
defend
that.
my son's actions anymore. But
Right.
from going to that, it was always a miserable time. Like we did, Snowball Express Disney this past December, and we were with 2,500 other people that had lost their father, or they were in the same situation as us. And I just remember just so much anxiety over Noah, and oh my gosh, can you just not enjoy the day? It was what I would think to myself. We went from
Yeah.
that to, you see how Noah smiles now. It just seems
Yeah.
that this medication, and it's Abilify, it's not anything crazy or anything, but it has
Right.
give him that impulsiveness. He is able to laugh and be happy, because this is not the child I had last year. That's completely
Oh my
different. So I
God.
am all for the medication, and that's the main thing to me. He's happy. He can communicate. He holds the door open for me now when we're getting groceries in. He
Oh
fixes my
wow.
plate when he fixes supper. He is considerate of other people. And my child could have cared less about anybody but himself last year. He didn't care.
Oh
So yeah,
wow.
that's the big difference for us.
That's fascinating because we don't have Evelyn on medication, but honestly, we didn't really have the need for it. If we ever did have the need for it, we would consider it. Yeah. Um,
Yeah,
but it's fascinating, because Abilify, I know they used to prescribe that for older patients with dementia.
Hmm.
You know,
and
that's
for bipolar
interesting.
too. Yeah,
Huh. Isn't that fascinating the way that the medication works on like a certain part of the brain? To be,
absolutely.
oh well, that's interesting.
What
I
can
know because go
what
ahead, sorry, go ahead.
therapies work for you, Tara, with Evelyn and Melly? Since you're fortunate to not have to go the medication route, I'm curious what therapies is, I don't want to say the replacement, but that's helping them to where you don't need the medication, which is great. I'm happy for you guys.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you. So we do speech therapy and physical therapy, and then we did behavioral therapy, but it was not ABT. It was not ABT therapy. It was like a different form of like this woman came in the house and she was called like a behavioral modification coach. And so she came to the house 3 times a week and she sat down with me and Evelyn. And it was kind of like therapy for both of us, honestly. It was not just therapy for her, it was also for me as a parent, like to learn how to interact with her on her level and like how to
Ah,
deal with meltdowns and tantrums and stuff. And like that was after, so like she always did behavioral therapy and speech therapy. And then she would sit down with the psychiatrist once in a while, but it didn't do much for her, and they weren't able to get much of like any kind of notes or anything, I feel. But this behavioral, she was called a behavioral modification coach, and it's like I guess maybe somewhat of an alternative therapy. But the ABT is like popular. A lot of people do that, and like I looked into it, and it just wasn't for us. So I said, let's see if we could not try it. And if we need it, then of course we will. But like, we'll just see if we could do something else for now. So we tried that, and she came in for like I guess it was about a year, and she came in 3 times a week, so it was like often. And like we all developed a really close relationship with her, and I feel like she taught me so much of like all these different things like art therapy. She taught me like sitting down and drawing a picture with Evelyn, just like in the middle of a meltdown, and it was like just different ideas and everything. And she was really good. She taught us of like even like how to limit screen time, how to put the iPad to bed at night. So like we would put the iPad to bed. We made a little shoebox into a bed with like a little blanket and pillow in the shoebox. And then she would put the
Oh,
iPad in the shoebox to go to bed for the night at like 8 o'clock or whatever.
That's adorable.
And it works. Let me tell you, it works beautiful. Evelyn, I mean, she stopped doing it because now she'll do it on her own. Like she'll kind of put it down at a certain time and come watch TV with us or do something else. She's pretty good on her own now. But she did it every night for like 2 or 3 years, I think, with putting the iPad to bed in the shoebox. And this lady was like a blessing, a godsend. Really, I don't even know how we came. Actually, no, I do know how it came upon her because I was looking for services. Actually, we were looking for some kind of like an intervention because Evelyn was starting to bite herself when she was getting mad. She was getting frustrated, and it was all also because of not being able to communicate. So funny because both of you said the same thing that your kids got, definitely aggressive and stuff over not being able to communicate. And that's what it was. Like, I know it was just frustration because she couldn't say what the hell she wanted to say and she couldn't get her point across. And you could only do so much pointing, or she had like the chart with the things. It was like a binder with all pictures of things, like pictures of French fries or chicken tenders or whatever. She would point to this, that, or the other. But this behavioral intervention lady, no, I'm sorry, she was called modif what the hell was she called? I said it 3 times before. A behavioral modification
behavior.
coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, yeah. She was like a real godsend to us that Evelyn was biting herself real bad. And she was in school at the time. She was in public school, and it was just like awful. I didn't know what to do. And she was doing it in school too. And so the school therapists were calling us and everything. And she had all these bite marks on her hands and her arms and her kneecaps. And her kneecaps, for some reason, her kneecap was a spot that she went for. And it was breaking my heart watching her do it and leaving like bruises, black and blues all over her hands and stuff. And so that was when I was like, all right, we're either going to have to put her on medication, or we got to have some sort of like a behavioral intervention. And we got this lady to come in 3 times a week, and she was like so good. She was really young, I guess, fresh out of school. And you could tell that autism was personal to her. I don't know if maybe she had a family member or something that also was on the spectrum, because she was just so so good. I still um I still see her sometimes on Facebook. I message her, because she was just like a real godsend. Yeah, she just taught me. Yeah, taught me so much.
I wish I knew of that for Connor. The only thing I knew of was play therapy, and that seemed to work. And then he got really attached to the provider, but then the provider passed, so he had to stop
Um,
going. But I wish I knew about that, the behavioral modification, because Connor would do a
yeah,
lot of self harm, like
yeah,
to himself with the bite and the scratch and the pulling the hair out, banging his head on, oh my god, my walls, the floor, just
yeah.
just anything in frustration. I wish I knew about that. That's
Oh
amazing
well.
that that worked for you.
Yeah, and
I
because you're
didn't.
also in New York. Go ahead. Sorry, True Crime.
I see. I didn't have those type of behaviors with Noah. We didn't have any of the self harm. We didn't have any of those. We just had an unruly kid that wouldn't listen to anything, that lashed out, that disrespectful, rude, didn't care about others. I mean, just they did diagnose him as oppositional defiance also at 3. But I mean, we just had
Okay.
like a child that wouldn't, I don't know, wasn't hitting what he needed to. He did a lot of stimming and still does. And like the teachers now, they don't look at him and just like Melly's saying, they would say, oh, he doesn't seem autistic. Well, what does autistic look like? Because there's 3 on panel and all of us look different. Our kids are all
Uh-huh.
different. So there is no, by the book. We never
Right.
did CBT or any kind of behavioral therapy. We did speech, physical, um, but we tried to get ABA therapy or CBT therapy, either one.
Oh,
And
ABA. That's yeah.
um, we tried, and we are still on wait list. We've been on a wait list in Missouri because we lived in Missouri at the time when he was 2. We've been on their wait list, and Noah's fixing to be 11 in December for 9 years. And they haven't got a spot yet. See, we don't have the therapist here.
Um,
Like you guys have all kind of services up there where you guys are. We
yeah.
don't have that here. He's on a wait list in Wyoming. He's been on that wait list since he was 11 months old. When he first started with the children's to 3, that program. And he's been on Texas wait list since he was 4 and never been called. And every now and then I'll get a call from him and says, you want us to keep us on the list? I said, yeah. And they're like, but you're not longer in the state. I said, if you can help my son, I will be back to that state. And as fast as I can, I can be there within a week. So,
Right.
I will uproot Noah if I have to get that. But now, like I said, since this past the first of the year and us starting this new medication, I don't feel we have the need for it. So we never went that route. But the schools are horrible. What Millie's saying there, yeah,
Yeah.
it's that always Noah's rude and disruptive. His teacher would say, Noah smarted off at me today. Well, what did you do to embarrass Noah? You have his IEP. You know what it says. If you just
Yeah.
follow it, it wouldn't be a problem. Noah's thing is don't embarrass him. Don't call him out because then he's going to lash out and I hate you, that type stuff. It's verbal behavior with him.
Okay.
Um, but he has an
You
IEP for a
know.
reason.
you-
Don't put him in front of the class and make him recite a poem. That's not going to happen. So
mm,
that's the schools don't. They just don't. I mean, I remember one teacher that Noah had, and I said, she was calling me and she was saying, well, I don't know what to do. He did this. And it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't something big. Um, and it was his first day of school. And she said, well, we don't like that kind of behavior. I said, well, ma'am, he's got an IEP. Oh, Noah's got an IEP? I said, yeah. Maybe you should have
Well.
read it. You
Yeah.
knew. I mean, so
Oh
yeah, the
yeah.
school system is horrible. I,
Oh, I
I
would have
did
been
try
really
to
pissed.
do I did try to homeschool myself, but I can't get Noah to stay focused enough. And we did like alternative learning, like more life skill based.
Right.
Um, but with him already being so far behind in the dyslexia and dysgraphia, it's just something I don't have the expertise in. If it was normal reading, writing, and math, yes, but
Right.
that's not what it is with him.
Exactly. You know what's best for your child, for the
Yeah.
academic part of it at least. Yeah, for sure.
And my
You know,
sanity, because that is the only
yeah,
break I get from him too.
totally.
I'd like to
Yeah,
go to the bathroom and not have him just walk in. So
exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. You know what's best for your child and for yourself, just for your whole situation.
yep,
Homeschooling does not work for everybody at all. For some people, it works beautifully. Like for us, for the past couple of years, it's been working better than it did when with her going to public school.
yeah,
We use time for learning, timeforlearning.com. We use that on the iPad, and she likes it a lot. And then we do some alternative life skills. We do, Bible studies. We do all different kinds of stuff. But it's like with certain things, like if she were struggling with the academic part of it, which thank God she's not, but she was like, don't think I would be able to do it, then I would have to
Yeah,
send her to some sort of I don't even know. I guess I would look into a public charter school at this point if I had to, because I didn't
yeah,
want to send her back to the regular public schools. I was a little bit like
exactly.
disgusted with a lot of things, yeah. And then yeah, it's just a lot. It's a lot. And then
Yeah,
also,
Millie,
go
I was
ahead.
just
No,
agreeing with Millie. I was just agreeing
yeah,
with what Millie said. The certain criteria for the schools to whether
the
they get certain
online.
type of therapies and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah,
And a lot of schools just don't want to spend the money, even though they know the child needs it.
exactly. And then I wonder, I hate to feel this way, but like only because Evelyn, thank God she talks and she has her words and she can communicate stuff to me. But when she comes home from school, she can't really tell me exactly what went on that day. And it does worry me a little bit, it does. Anything that happens on the school bus or whatever, and I might never find out about it, I can't handle that. I don't I know I sound probably overprotective and a little bit nuts, but like I just can't handle it. The thought that like another kid would come home and tell me, "Ma, this kid hit me on the school bus or whatever." But Evelyn, I don't know if she would say anything honestly. So
Well,
I
that's
can't.
Noah. That's Noah because I never get the story. He's just like, oh,
Um,
mom, don't worry about it. This happened. But he can't, he knows in his head what happened, but with his, the processing, um, he can't get it from his head to his mouth to tell me what's going on. So yeah,
okay.
yeah. It's, no, central processing disorder. I don't know. It's where you take information in,
Yeah.
but you don't have the filing cabinet to put it. You don't know what file it needs to go into for you to easily retrieve it, if that makes sense. You
Yeah.
just throw it in the filing
Central
cabinet, not in a certain file to where it can be retrieved.
central processing disorder. That's what it's
Um,
called?
I know it's a processing disorder. There's two versions of it that I'm aware of because one said Noah had one
Okay.
version of it, and then the other test said he had the other. So,
Huh.
gosh, does anybody know? Um, sensory process? No, it's not sensory.
I'll look it up. No, not sensory processing.
Um,
It might be called central processing. Hmm.
I don't know.
I'm gonna look it up, or I could even just Google like a processing disorder, where you take information in and don't really know what to do with it, or something like that.
Yeah, and it's hard. Like one, you don't know where to put it, and the other is like you don't know how to retrieve it. So
It's like
it's
you
like two
can.
versions.
Yeah, that's interesting to
They
me
get
because
the
I.
input. They know Noah learned everything he learned at school today, but he can't recite that and he can't tell you what happened because it's just jumbled in his brain
Right.
somewhere. The brain doesn't know where to put the information. It's just the process. It's like a computer. If you've got
Yeah.
a slow computer and the processing speed is really, really slow and lags and, crashes
Yeah.
every time you try to go open a new page, that's kind of like his brain does.
That
That's what I
now I
was.
wonder if it's like a week later or a few days later that like he might have processed that information better by then. Like maybe a week later.
Yes. And
Yeah.
sometimes it takes 6 months. I would get so tired of
Okay.
telling him over and over and over and over again. I mean, it's not that hard. We need to brush our teeth every day, or we need to let the toilet seat down. And I would be telling him this stuff 10, 15 times a day. Come on. And I've been doing it for 5 or 6 years, and it
Oh
still
yeah.
hadn't kicked in. But some
Yeah.
things it's not like that with everything. That's just an example. There are some
No, no,
things
I
that,
get it. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Huh. And then like with the potty training too, like Evelyn, wow, she wasn't fully potty trained until she was like 5 years old, honestly. And that was also like a communication thing, when the kids can't really communicate fully to say, I gotta go to the bathroom all the time. It's different. Potty training is a whole different ball game, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I
I
would always
wonder that's
go after he went. He would my son would tell me, "Oh, I have to go to the bathroom," after he used the wet in his diaper. That was
yeah.
that was hard to get it to where he could communicate that he feels it, you know, before he
To,
actually does it.
or to say something on his own, to say,
Yeah,
yeah,
it was
yeah,
after
yeah.
he could, feel the urine or the feces that he was like, "Oh, okay, bathroom." But beforehand, processing this feeling that he feels in his belly, he wasn't able to tell me, "Okay, I have to go to the bathroom now."
Right. Exactly. I wasn't able to put two and two together when Evelyn was that age as to why she was struggling so badly with the potty training. I didn't realize that it was like having to do with the autism, you know? And so in my head, I just thought that it was my parenting. And I was like, wow, this is ridiculous. Like, I'm such a failure and everything. And, at the time, I was currently using an active addiction. So it was just a mess. And I couldn't put it together that it was because of the autism spectrum disorder, you know? I just was just like, oh my God, why isn't the potty training taking? And I was getting so frustrated with my husband over everything because he kept trying to talk to me about autism. And I was like, if you mention this word to me like one more time, I'm just going to hit the roof. I don't even know what I'm going to do, but it's going to be bad, you know? It got to be where that word was almost banned in our house. But my husband couldn't even say that word for a long time. It was only after I got to be in recovery, after I got clean and I went away to a rehab and everything. And then after I got out, I started like putting the pieces of my life back together and coming to terms. And I was like, then of course we talked all about it. Then that was when we finally got everything out in the open. And like now, I haven't been formally diagnosed by a doctor, but like I'm pretty certain that I'm also on the spectrum. But I don't know, I could be wrong, but I really think that I am. And when I said it to my husband like a year ago, he totally agreed with me. And he was like, yeah. And so I don't even know, like, it's weird, but I'm pretty sure that I am. And so, like, that would have me thinking that, yeah, the autism has got to be genetic, you know? What do you guys think about that, about genetics and autism?
I personally, a controversy, I saw my son was on target until I hate to say it, he got the MMR shot. I saw
Okay.
him after his body went stiff when he got that shot. And my son, I swear, and people say, "Oh no, it's not the shots." But in my situation, my son was on target and everything. He got that shot, and then it was like everything froze.
And at what age did he get that?
Um, when did they get the MMR? I think close to 1.
Okay. Around one.
I
Oh,
I think I
God.
think it was close to 1. It's been a while since that shot, but I remember, the doctor was holding him and giving him the shot. I don't remember the exact age, but his body went stiff. And I'm
Well,
like, "Oh
no.
my God, what's wrong with my baby? What's wrong with my baby?" And this doctor,
Yeah.
like her, but she was laughing and she's like, "No, he's okay. It's just, the shot, blah, blah, blah." Um, so
Huh.
I believe the shot, but then part of me, um, it could be genetic. For I have a sister who isn't autistic but is mentally disabled. Her
Okay.
official diagnosis, even though it's frowned upon now, is mental retardation. Um,
Okay.
my uncle on my mother's side also is mentally delayed, and it goes back generation one in every family on my mother's side is mentally delayed. So I'm mixed on it being genetic versus this shot that I swear to God I saw a difference.
Oh,
Hey,
wow.
Tara, I don't want to interrupt. I'm at
Yeah.
15%. I want to tell you, I'm super freaking proud of you for how far you've come and the struggles you've had.
Thank
Um,
you.
I'm not a conspiracy theorist on the vaccinations and stuff, but I'll tell you what, Noah at 3 months old At 3 months old, he would go to bed at 6 o'clock at night and wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning. He was perfect, no issues, not a colicky baby, none of that. I mean, just a very typical child. The day
Wow.
at 3 months old when he got his 3 month shots, that's when the screaming 20 hours a day started. Noah was born 3 months premature and lack of oxygen to his brain. When his birth mom had him, she convinced them, because they did an ultrasound that day. They life flighted her to the hospital, because she was in labor and it was too early. And they kept telling us every day that, we're not going to let her have this baby. My husband come into town. We went to get something to eat, and each day it was a different doctor in the hospital. And just so happened that doctor said, well, the baby's weighing over 6 pounds in the ultrasound. She says she's full term. We're going to induce as soon as you get back from supper. They had took all the NIC equipment out of the room,
Yeah.
and he come out blue. They literally run him down the hallways. They had to tube him and everything. So it could have been from, the little bit of lack of oxygen that was. He eventually did fine. He left the hospital 14 days after he was born, but it could have been that. But as far as behaviors that I seen, it wasn't until he got that shot. But because
Oh, wow.
it was, well, let's see, he was born December, the end of December, and it would have been April or May when he had the shot. So January, February, March, April, May, around 6 months old when he got the shot. That's when life turned hell. But by 3 months old, I would get home from work. He was with my husband all day. I'd give him his bath because my husband, um, he was scared to put Noah in the water. So, I would give him his bath, feed him. We'd all have dinner together. And by 6:30, he was asleep, and he would sleep all night long. I mean, we didn't have those issues. I remember it to the
Yeah.
day. I remember the car ride to get that shot. I remember that's the day that everything turned around. Coincidence? Maybe. I don't know.
Oh,
But
wow.
yeah.
Mhm.
Um, okay, Bear, I will talk to you later. Um,
Thank
but
you so much for
I just don't want to.
joining.
Anytime, anytime. And I will try to get on more so I can catch more of your lives. It's just been hectic here lately. But I
Awesome.
appreciate
Thanks
listening
a
to you.
million. Thank you so much for joining and coming on and talking. It's been great. Thank you so much.
I adore you
Thank you
too.
for having me.
All
I
right.
didn't hear
We'll
you.
talk again soon.
I said I adore.
Okay. Oh, I adore you, honey. You guys have a good night. Chat. You guys all have a good night.
You too, True Crime. Thanks.
Bye.
All right. Bye bye.
And what do you think, Tara? For Evelyn, do you think it's genetic shots? Like, what do you think?
So with Evelyn, I think it's definitely genetic. I think it's 100%. And it's funny because like I was trying to think about with the shots if there was any like different behaviors afterwards, and I don't think so. Um, I didn't notice anything like, and I know when she was first born, I kind of feel like they gave her the MMR when she was first born in the hospital. Do you think that they gave it to yours like in the first three
I
days in the
think it was
hospital,
two.
or
I'm
no?
pretty sure it was two shots that they have to take. I'd have to look at the shot thing.
Yeah,
Now that
yeah.
she's saying 6 months old, it could have possibly been Connor at 6 months old shot if that was the MMR. But I know they give it, I think, twice in New York.
Yeah. And I remember I was like really nervous in the hospital about them giving it to her. And I think it was mandatory where we didn't even have a choice. Pretty
Hmm.
sure it was mandatory. And I was nervous actually for that very reason. And I said to my husband, oh, God forbid autism. And he was like, Tara, don't be ridiculous. But I did think about it, honestly, when they wanted to give it to her. I was afraid for that very reason. Um, but no, I don't think that it had anything at all to do with it with Evelyn. I do think 100% actually that I am also on the spectrum and that she got it from me. Um, that not just from me, but like on my mom's side of the family, she had one brother who is autistic. And he now my grandma swears up and down that he was not born that way. and that he caught whooping cough as a baby, and that
Mhm.
after this, I guess he's maybe like 60 years old now, probably about 60. So she swore that he got whooping cough as a baby, and that after he got the whooping cough, that when he was never the same, and that's when they realized that he had autism. But this was a long time ago, and so like back then, I don't even know if they used autism as a diagnosis or what they said about him. But like my grandma ended up having to put him in a home because she just couldn't deal with it. She had 10 children, so like
My
she had nine other kids to contend with. And
It's
so she put.
amazing that they haven't linked it with all the testing and research that they do, that they haven't been able to pinpoint it. Like, did you have any complications while pregnant? Like, I had preeclampsia through almost my whole pregnancy,
Okay. See,
and
no, I
Connor was
didn't.
induced. I was induced because of that. So I'm wondering, is it a something maybe that happened while they were in the womb?
Yeah. See, I didn't have any complications at all with the pregnancy. I didn't take any medications. Let me see. I didn't take medication. I didn't have anything happen. No, I even like I tried not to gain too much weight. I was afraid of having an emergency C-section, and then I needed one anyway. I was so furious. I only gained like I think it was 19 pounds. It was something ridiculous. In 19 pounds throughout my whole pregnancy, which to me, I've easily gained 19 pounds in a couple of months without being pregnant. So that was like I tried so hard not to gain weight. The doctor was like, "You don't want to gain too much. You'll need a C-section. God forbid." I was like, "All right, I'm gonna do so good. I'll never need it." But like, no. And then it was the only thing is that she did have the umbilical cord double wrapped around her neck, so I needed the C-section because she wouldn't descend. I was stuck at 4 centimeters. I wouldn't dilate any further because no matter how many hours passed, my cervix was not going to dilate because she had the cord wrapped twice around her neck. She wasn't able to like descend. And
Well,
so like that's possible that like maybe it was a lack of oxygen to her brain or something, but I really don't think so. I think that Evelyn was this way in formation in my womb. I'm pretty sure of it. I don't know how I am, but I just know. Yeah, Evelyn was definitely the Evelyn that she is now when she was being formed in my womb way before she was born. I just know it. I know it. Like the way that she was when she was born is the same way she is now. Like there wasn't anything that changed. Like, and I just know it that yeah, she must have been. That's funny too. That I don't know if it was you or True Crime Latest who said what was it about the baby not acting right around 6 months old.
that was
I
true,
think
and I think
yeah,
back, and that probably was the age with Connor.
yeah. That's weird because, like, I always, in hindsight, would think back to when she was a baby and think, like, were there signs? Like, was there stuff that, like, maybe if she wasn't acting like your typical baby, I wouldn't have noticed because, like, she was my first? So maybe there was signs, but I just didn't pick up on them. Hey,
I
Caleb.
I remember Connor's father was in the military, and he did 2 wars, and then he came out, and I got pregnant with Connor, and we went to the VA for different tests because we often wondered, and we're pushing on it, test my husband more, test him more, to see if maybe he experienced something in battle to where it could have passed to me in pregnancy. And I know that's all conspiracy stuff, but he was exposed to Agent Orange. So
Okay.
the VA was researching. We never got results on that, but they
Huh.
did research to see if perhaps that could have caused an issue.
I
I'm guessing not because we haven't gotten results and it's been 16 years.
I know,
But
right?
that was something we often wondered because it seemed, I don't know if it's just because I had an autistic child, that it seemed like more and more people were diagnosed, and Connor's my first. So when before I had Connor, I never heard of, I heard autism, on TV, but never paid attention. and it
Right.
seemed as common as it is now, if that makes sense.
Because I don't think it was. I don't think it was. Like, I know, I kept stressing the same thing.
Like I have with Connor's behavior with school. I'm going back to school for a minute. When he was in elementary school, he was in early intervention. With early intervention, you get an IEP that transfers over to school when they get out of early intervention.
Yes.
The school, and oh my gosh, this makes me angry thinking of it. They would test him. He would qualify for his speech, his OT, and his PT, along with some other stuff in his IEP. I swear they would test him and he would get approved for the following year. A month after school started, they took away his IEP. So then I was fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting for him to get it back. At towards the end of the year, they would test him again and he would qualify, and then they would
Uh,
take it away.
oh,
So
thank you, natural born leader. Thank you for the super chat. Sorry, go ahead, K Bear.
it's all right. So
Sorry.
behaviors to where I remember going to second grade. I went to parent teacher conference, and I was told that they expect kids to be cookie cutters. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And
totally. They do.
I was told that my son was he wasn't complete in work. It's not that he wasn't able to; it was he just didn't. His brain couldn't process at that time. He had behavioral, and I was told I wasn't disciplining him anymore. And I was reminded, in New York State, you can discipline your child as long as it's with an open hand.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me?
I
Ugh,
I'll
what
never.
the hell?
And I looked at her, and
Ah,
I'm like, he's autistic. Well, he doesn't have an IEP, and I'm like, that's because you guys keep giving it to him and taking it away, giving it to him and taking it away. Middle school came, and they took away his IEP again and gave him a 504, which is for behavioral.
oh.
Um,
Well, 'cause that's not
it's
what you
like a
need.
behavioral plan, but
Right. But you need the whole
well
IEP
on
for
that.
him. And he's owed that. He deserves that, you know? What the hell?
He did well with his behavior plan, to where if he was feeling frustrated, he was allowed to get up and walk to a trusted person, a teacher or something, and go and deal with it, and then be able to sit down and resume. He did so well with it that they took that away, and I fought for him to get his IEP going into high school, because my son's now going to be a junior. Going into
Okay.
grade, I fought for him to get his IEP. They tested him, and because academically he does so well, he doesn't qualify for anything.
Oh
Nothing.
my God.
Nothing.
That
Like
is
he used to, with his IEP, he used to have a class size of 15 and do well. And this was in regular classes. Um, he wasn't in
okay.
special ed classes because he tested academically. He's a genius. Um,
Wow.
so
Oh my
I'm fighting
God.
the district. Now he's going to be a junior, to try to get him back on the IEP. And it's so hard because they're like, well, he doesn't qualify. And I'm like, but he has this diagnosis. When COVID happened, they were forced to basically, I consider it homeschool, where they're on the computer.
Right.
He
Yeah.
he failed that grade. He had to do summer school because he doesn't have the attention span to just sit there and look at the computer and do work. He would say, okay, this is boring. I'm going to sign into class so my mom doesn't get a phone call that I'm not there. And he would go on websites and play games.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah. I'm sure a lot of them did at that time.
homeschooling did not work, and we had to sign a paper, um because I didn't know what he was doing, because we had to sign a paper that because of confidentiality of the students and blah blah blah, We cannot be near the computer because they had to have cameras on during school.
Oh,
So I
oh,
didn't know my son was what he was doing until the report card came, and there was still nothing I could do because I couldn't be in there to be like, okay, get back on the thing.
right.
So it was public school is terrible for IEPs for what they need because everybody, like I said, they expect it to be that cookie cutter child, and that's impossible.
Exactly. It's so true. And it's such a vast spectrum, you know. The spectrum is so wide. I think a lot of people don't really realize it or they don't fully understand or like comprehend. But like the spectrum is so vast. Like that Evelyn can be completely opposite of another kid with autism. They say, well, if you met one kid with autism, you met one kid with autism, you know, because
Hmm.
that's what it is. You've met one child with autism then, and that's it because they're all different. They're all so different.
It's
And
a
it's like,
it's a vast, very big space on where they all fit in.
right, because, you know, some children with autism, I would be like, oh my God, Evelyn is nothing at all like that, you know, but it doesn't mean like, oh, maybe they're not autistic or maybe she's not autistic. Or, no, it's just a spectrum of different symptoms, I guess you would call. I don't really like the way that sounds. I wouldn't call it symptoms. I don't know what I would
I know
call
what you mean. I know.
it. You know, I hate the wording of all that. Like, you know, I
You
read.
can't put my Connor next to Evelyn and be like, okay, this one has it and this one doesn't. No, every kid is different in each form. What Evelyn may excel at, my son may not, and vice versa.
Right, right. Or I watch him do something and be like, well, he does that fine, no problem. So look, he's not autistic. You know, a lot of people, I feel like, it's weird because, you know, years ago, I mean, it seems as if there was not as much autistic cases as there are now.
Hmm.
Years ago, I didn't hear of it as much, you know, and that was another thing that really infuriated me when I got her diagnosis. I was like, you know, are you kidding me? There's just another kid that they want to add to this list of all these people getting diagnosed or whatever the hell is going on here. I was really just like, I had it with everyone, you know. I didn't want to hear nothing. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Like, all of a sudden, everybody's autistic now, right?
I
But,
think
like, I didn't,
diagnosed it with behavioral issues. Oh, this kid just doesn't want to listen. Let's whoop his ass.
what's that?
I think they just said,
Yeah,
gosh, just behavior. It's just a behavioral thing. It's just a behavioral. The parents aren't disciplining at home. It's just a behavioral. That's what I think it's been to where now um I see teachers when I go to the school that there's more focus on autism than there was when my son started school.
oh, yeah, that's true, though. That is true. So, do you think, like, years ago, it was still just as much autism going around? It was just that nobody diagnosed it because they
But
didn't know? Like,
I think it was recognized as a behavioral.
yeah,
I think
yeah,
I think it was behavioral because nobody there was no textbook to say okay it's this because autism it really isn't a textbook thing. I'm When you go to get evaluated, like I have a 4 and 3-year-old, um
yeah,
they went and got evaluated. They didn't come up as having autism, but it was just varying symptoms. Do they do this, do they do that? You have to have a certain amount of whatever's on their criteria to qualify for the diagnosis. I don't think
right.
they had that then.
Yeah, yeah, that's probably what it is.
And they say my 4 and 3-year-old are autistic. And I wonder because my 4-year-old didn't start talking until he was 3. My
Okay.
He walked, he did everything fine. He just didn't start communication. He's not potty trained because he cannot convey, and it reminds me a lot of Connor. He cannot convey the I need to go to the bathroom versus I went. He can't convey that. And with my 3-year-old, I see it's like a different degree from each kid. but my 4 and 3-year-olds didn't hit all the targets that for the qualifying factor, I guess.
Okay. Right.
So I think that's
Right.
what it was. Is there was no guidebook, because when you go, they all pull out a book and a chart and check here and it's this, check here and it's not this.
Yeah, I had taken an at-home. There's a couple of at-home quizzes that I took online through Google. I just Googled it like an at-home Asperger's quiz, which I
Mhm.
know like Asperger's is an outdated term. The doctors don't use it anymore. But like for me, when I first started saying I think I might be on the spectrum, I felt like more comfortable saying Asperger's. I don't know why. I know it's because of all the stigma that is attached with the word autism, that it's like people don't even want to use it anymore. And it's messed up because it is just that. It's a stigma,
My
and the word, yeah,
my
it's a
son
stigma.
Connor, when he was first diagnosed, he wasn't diagnosed as autistic. He was diagnosed POD, meaning he was somewhere on the spectrum, but they weren't sure exactly where he fit. And then after some more tests, it was a for sure autism, but he was POD. I forget what that stands for, but that was his first diagnosis.
Okay.
And to help me with that diagnosis, they gave me medication. They were very quick to push. Yes, PDD, NOS. Yes, that's it. Um, they were very quick at 3 to give me medicine for him. And it was clonidine, which is a high blood pressure medicine, before bed. And that didn't do anything.
Oh, okay. Was that meant to calm his anxiety or?
I don't know, because he didn't have a behavioral to go to bed. He never had an issue. Now that he's older, he does. But
Okay.
that could be a teen
Hey,
thing.
grateful MC.
Yes,
Also,
Melly, you're correct. Um, but I didn't see a difference with that, so I ended up taking him off um, that clonidine, because it was the same Connor with or without that medication.
oh, okay. I get it. I get it. Yeah. The clonidine, yeah, and it's a blood pressure medication. They use it a lot for anxiety nowadays. I know. I think it might have less side effects than other things. It's like safer and less side effects.
I just felt it was weird to want to give a 3-year-old that medication.
Right. Like why? And he wasn't having issues with sleeping, you said?
Oh, he wasn't having issues, and that was my firstborn. Connor's my firstborn, so when they gave the medication, I'm looking it up and I'm seeing all the side effects. And if you're late, one of the side effects is a heart attack if you miss a dose or something. So
Oh
I was
God.
out having to have a timer on, because that could be a side effect. Have a timer on, make sure I'm not late. I don't want my 3-year-old to have a heart attack, blah, blah,
Oh
blah.
my God.
On that medicine gave me more anxiety than I think it did help him,
Right.
because I was just so scared. Oh my goodness, it's almost 7 o'clock. I didn't bring the medicine. Let's rush home and give it to him. I'm so afraid he's going to have a heart attack. It
Oh
was,
my God.
and I don't know why they pushed medicine on at 3 years old. That's just weird to me.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. 3 years old is really young. Yeah.
They didn't try to do that with Evelyn, try to push you into medicine.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, because I'm trying to think, like when she was 3, right around the time when she was 3, actually, was when I was in like the worst of my active addiction, and
Okay.
that was around the time that like my husband and I separated for some time, and we weren't even living together for a while. So around that time, he was like her primary caretaker. He was taking her to doctors and everything. So they may have tried to push medication on her, and he denied it. But I don't really remember him saying that. I don't remember him saying that they tried
I
to push it on
remember
her.
I remember the neurologist who prescribed it told me that if I didn't agree to this medicine and get it filled, that it's neglect. And
Oh,
I was afraid that they were
oh
going to
my
take it.
God.
This is your first baby. When they
Yeah.
don't know and you follow, and they tell you do A,
Right.
B, and D, you're going to do it.
Oh my
Uh,
God, that's their subtle way of letting you know that should you refuse the prescription, they can go ahead and call ACS for neglect.
and
Ah,
and I was so terrified that I was going to lose my baby.
of
So I was
course.
like, okay, let me do this. And then, with the anxiety of that clonidine, and I was able to find a new doctor who agreed with me weaning him off of it and taking it away, and that I wasn't bad for not wanting him on it.
Yeah, I would never have wanted, never ever at 3 years old, I would have been like petrified actually to give her medication.
It was scary. It was scary. The
Yeah.
doctors, I don't know. I don't know why they like to scare parents into thinking, as I got older and I have more children now, I know my rights as a parent that I can refuse. And
Yes.
I'm not neglecting. I can
Right.
make choices as long as I'm not putting my children in danger.
Exactly.
I have a say. But at that age, anything they told me, I did.
Of
It was
course.
scary
And
time.
oh my God, yeah, it sounds like it. That's ridiculous. I'm so surprised that a doctor would jump to put a 3-year-old on medication, you know?
Yeah, that was a doctor in Westchester.
And oh, okay, huh. And I mean, if they had told me that too, like if you don't, it could be considered neglect. So, yeah, I would have jumped and done it also because I would have been like, "Are you kidding me?" I could read between those lines, you know? Like, yeah, no. The last thing I need now is some doctor trying to call ACS on me for neglect, you
Especially
know?
with your first baby.
Right, because you don't know with your firstborn, and so you're thinking like, well, maybe all the other parents, like nobody, gives any friction with this, and they just go along with it. Whatever the doctor says, they're all like, okay, but
You don't think that your doctor's just gonna push. It's just
no,
scary time as a first parent.
yeah, definitely,
Really,
and
I'm so
then
glad you have a pediatrician like that.
right to keep an eye on your son's anxiety, stay off meds as long as it's safe for, yeah, yeah, exactly, as long as it's safe for your child and everyone around them, you know. If
Hmm.
it becomes a danger and now it's not, then you consider it, you know? Yeah. Or if it's impacting their quality of life so much, like even True Crime Latest was saying that Noah wasn't happy for like a whole year or whatever, that, and then she saw him afterwards and now all of a sudden she sees like that he's actually genuinely happy. And so now that's a major quality of life issue. If your child is actually unhappy and can't get along for whatever reason, then yeah, you know, and it's a personal thing. Everybody has their own beliefs as far as medication, and that's our rights. Like we have a lot more rights as parents than we realize. It's
Absolutely.
true. Yeah, yeah, it's so true. You
Anybody's walking
sometimes
away, you know, and you feel a pushy doctor, advocate for your child.
exactly. You have a lot more rights as a parent than you would think that you have. Yeah, and it's what's best for your child, and sometimes it's totally okay to tell the doctor, no, that is not what's best for my child, actually this is what might be better. That's totally fine, and there's a way to do it without, like, you don't have to do it and be disrespectful about it or be like, any kind of way about it, but there's a way that you could absolutely do it, and the doctor would even respect you for it, and yeah, absolutely, you have to. You just have to, because really only you as their parent knows what's best for them. And
Yeah.
you second guess yourself so much and think like, well, the doctor must know better or the teacher must know better. But it's really not the case. You really do know better.
And medication isn't the cure all for everything. And I say that because my son's been on medication since he was 13. Last year, I almost lost my son to S.
Oh
Very
my
scary.
God.
He was happy, and then just one day, I almost lost him to S, to where I ended up having to take him to the ER and wait for a placement into a hospital so he could get treatment. Um, and even then, the hospital, because here you have to wait in the, you leave, you don't drop your kid off, but you
Right.
basically leave him in the ER until a bed's open. My son was in the ER for a month until a bed was open. And
Oh
during
my.
that time, the hospital ended up calling CPS on CPS on me
Oh shit.
and refer and told the CPS worker that my child should be removed. And thankfully, my CPS worker at that time, I had my records, I had everything, sided with me and said, no, he's staying there until a bed opens up, um, and he gets his treatment. Um, Thankfully, he got into a treatment facility in Rockland County, and he spent 3 months there with inpatient. And that
Okay.
therapy saved my son's life, saved it to where now he's in school. The it's interesting. They didn't have it before, but the Rockland Psych now has a doctor and therapist in the school district, to where my
Yeah.
son every week can go see a doctor and the therapist and more therapy on top of his medicine, which I'm so thankful for.
Oh
So I
yeah.
say that to say medicine isn't the cure all to say, okay, this is going to fix my child. It's 100% not guaranteed. I'm happy it's working for true crime, and I hope it always does. But there's always that one little chance that something could go wrong.
Yeah. Wow. I'm so sorry you went through that. That's crazy.
It's scary. I thought I was a failure.
Oh my God.
I thought I remember checking him in at the institution and breaking down and
Oh
what did I do wrong? And they said, it's a it's a part of his diagnosis that you didn't do anything wrong, because I thought I failed my kid. That he
yeah.
contemplated and attempted S. That was a scary moment.
Oh my God. Well, thank God he made it and he's okay now
Thank
and
God
he's
for
doing so much
therapy.
better. And he's doing so much better, you said also, right?
He's doing wonderful. He still has his setbacks, but it's not. I'm not afraid. I still have my guard up, but I'm not afraid for him or for my house, like I was a year ago. Just this year, I'm allowing him to leave the house without me, because I'm a hawk mom, I guess is what you call it, a helicopter mom.
Yeah.
So I'm very
Yeah,
I'm very protective of
me
my children.
too.
Oh, he's 16 now. I'm very protective. I need to know where he is, if he's going to be okay. So where
Yeah.
he has a job and it's funded through um, the mental health workers. They have, for their clients, if they're of age to have a job, they
Yeah.
um, they give them a job, but their supervisors are in the mental health field.
Oh, sweet.
So because
Okay. That's
I was trying to
awesome.
let him have a job, because I was afraid, what if something happens. But I was comforted in knowing that they send, their staff there. If he were to have an episode, trained professionals are there. So he
Okay.
has a summer job and doing well, better than I thought.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. That's really cool.
That's funny, Melly. You're a helicopter mom. What is your child? Mine hates that I'm a helicopter mom.
Yeah, I think I might be one too. I might be one too. Yeah, I definitely have to always be right on top of things. Well, I
I
mean,
have.
it's different, it's different with our kids because it's like, when the communication is limited and I don't know. I definitely I stay a little too much on top of Evelyn. I'll admit it. Yeah. But and she's also my only child, so
Do
yeah.
you let her go out to friends or anything like with Connor at 16? He's besides, being in the hospital for that time, I'm too nervous for him to go out to spend a night at a friend's house.
Yeah.
I'm that helicopter mom.
It's understandable. It's understandable. I mean, she doesn't go without me, no. So like she would have play dates and stuff, but I go with her. I would go with her, or my husband would go with her. She doesn't go and hang out with her friends like on her own, no. But she wouldn't want to either. She wouldn't want to. She's not at that level of maturity or whatever in her development that she wouldn't want to go out and like hang out with her friends without us. So she'd be perfectly fine having a play date with me or my husband with her, because that's what she's used to and she's totally cool with it. So it's not like she ever expressed wanting to go out on her own. But like, obviously, of course, other 13-year-olds are, yeah. But like, I don't even think she would want to because she's so used to having one of us with her. But like, I mean, if she wanted, if she was invited to a sleepover or something, I would definitely let her go. Yeah, I would. But
Not bad.
it would have to be somebody that I know though really well, that I know, like I know exactly where she's going and all that stuff.
I'm bad. My 16-year-old has never been to a birthday party unless it was in a public place to where I could be there. Thinking back to an earlier conversation that you and True Crime had with if an incident would happen, would they be able to tell you? I'm the
Well, yeah,
things happened. My son still doesn't tell me. Things happened until maybe a few weeks later, and then it's like, well, it's kind of too late to address it now.
yeah.
But like birthday
Mm.
parties or anything, if it's not a public place to where mommy can go and not attend the party, but be there, he's
Yeah.
he's never been. He's never.
Aw.
Don't
But I
have a
get
birthday
that
party
though.
at your house and expect my son to show up. It's not happening.
Yeah. No, I get it though. I get it. It's hard when they can't come home and just tell you everything that happened, or like if something happens, you don't know if they're going to say anything, or if they do, it's not going to be till weeks later. Yeah, that's hard. But as time goes by, you'll be able to think about it, about letting him do things like that on his own without you in the future, maybe, right?
I don't know. I'm already. He already has his after high school life planned, and I'm like, okay, I can get a house here for this college you want to go to, type of thing.
Yeah,
You don't have to
yeah,
live on dorm. Mommy will be
yeah.
there.
And so, what does he say when you say that, though? Did you tell him that or no?
And he's like, Mom. And I'm like, what? I said, this is great because look at all the money you can save. You just live at home.
Yeah. Does he want to though? Like, does he show like an interest in wanting to like go out on his own and stuff, or no?
It depends on the day. It depends on the day and the mood. Like right now,
Okay.
he has it planned. Um, he wants to be a nurse when he graduates high school.
Okay.
Um, so that's wonderful. And the local community college here, if you go to school at this local community college, because my county is ranked one of the poorest health wise in New York State, nothing to be proud of. they,
Yeah.
they give grants for people going into the healthcare field. So I'm kind
Okay.
of enticing him to, go get your nursing degree here at the local school. And so some days he's okay with it.
Definitely.
Other days it's I want to go and do, but then it's a lot of self doubt. He doubts,
Okay.
puts himself down a lot, and it's hard. It's hard to get him to
Okay.
not put himself down and think less than what he is, because he's like, Mom, if I go and do that, what if I fail?
So he's gonna get that confidence from doing it, though. You know. He's
Well, that's
gonna
what
do.
I was hoping with agreeing for him to do this summer job, was that he
Okay.
would get this confidence. Like, he's getting remarks on how he's one of the hardest workers, so that makes him want to go to work. And
Right.
it's just going to take some time.
Oh yeah, time and just life experience, as life goes on and he does more and more things and he tries it for the first time. Every time he tries it and doesn't think he can do it and then he does it, he'll get more and more confidence.
Yeah. Like,
Definitely.
do you see her leaving the nest?
I don't know. I don't know, and I've thought about it so much. Unfortunately, it's been like a lot, many, many nights I've thought about it and talked to my husband about it, about like, do we think she's going to be able, do we think she's going to be able to,
Mm-hmm.
is really the real question, or do you think she's going to want to, you know? So I don't know. I don't know, number one, if she's going to want to, and number two, if she's going to be able to. So like, I think that she might need like maybe if she wanted to like be in a relationship or even like a close friendship or whatever, and she met a partner that was like super supportive and understanding and could help her a lot, that might work. Or also like maybe a group living type of situation with like a roommate, or that might work also. Or she might not want to leave home, which is totally fine. I mean, that's totally fine. I would love to have her with me forever. If she wants to, she never has to leave home. But I know that's not like probably what's going to be best for her. Even if I want to keep her with me forever, it might not be in her best interest. It might be like better off for me as a mom to let her go into even like a roommate living type of situation as she's older, just to get used to it, because I'm not going to be around forever. It's like, I've thought about it so much, and I mean, it could be possible for her. I think maybe not to live completely alone. That might not be possible. Or it might be. I don't know. I don't want to like close the door on something if it could be. But I think probably like with a partner would be great, or maybe with like a friend that's a roommate. And it makes me sad that I never had any more kids, because I feel like if I had at least a sibling for her, then she might have a hope of living with them after I'm gone. But I don't think I'm having any more kids. I mean, I
We're
still could, but I don't think I'm gonna. I'm 40, and my husband's much older. I'm 40 and he's 58. So I mean, I don't think we're having any more.
with
But
my sister. My sister's diagnosed, like I said earlier, mental retardation is her official diagnosis.
okay.
We're at the point now. My mom passed last year of cancer. My dad is 80. We're at the point now of planning for her future, and
Right.
it's scary. Um, I my me personally, my house, I'm not equipped to take on another. As much as I love my sister, so we're looking at, up where I live in the county I live in, we have centers, and I'm not going to dox myself by giving names, but
Yeah, no, don't.
they're basically communities inside of a community. So
Okay.
they have apartments and stuff to where they can feel independent, but it's staff there to check on them. They have a garden to grow. They have their own job. Everything's basically on campus.
Right.
Like
Right.
I say, it's a city inside of a city. But you can come and go. Like, if I wanted to take her for the weekend, I could go pick her up and bring her to my house for the weekend, knowing that she's got a home to go back to. And it's kind of like assisted living, Melly. They have they have their own grocery store. They have where they all work. They have their own doctors. There's like a doctor's office there. The only thing that's not there is like a fire department and hospital. So really, they don't need to venture out of their quote unquote city, but they
Yeah.
do. And because I always was afraid and thinking, thankfully Connor is high function enough to where he doesn't need something like that. But with my sister, before they were hospitals that they were putting them in. And I don't know if you've
Right.
seen like the documentary of, all these places in Rockland County that
Yeah.
basically throw them away. Letchworth Village, look that up. Thank God
What's it
that's not
called?
anymore.
What?
Letchworth Village.
Okay.
That was a group. It was disguised as a group home, but that was
Okay.
they basically experimented on anybody with any disability, and it was a torture.
Jesus.
It ended up getting shut down.
Oh my God.
That's just out
Yeah.
of the city. That's in Rockland County. So I
Oh
was
wow.
scared to even think of that. Even for my
Right.
son, younger, I
Yeah.
didn't
Yeah.
know how he would be. And now thinking with my sister, seeing these type of communities pop up, it's
Yeah.
to see that they're not as scary as what it used to be.
Right, it's true, and there's a lot of really, really good ones, and there's still a lot of bad ones. That's like the unfortunate part is that I know there's still a lot of awful ones, but for every awful one, there's a lot of really amazing ones too.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
never heard
saw
of. I
that.
never heard of until I moved to the county that I'm in now. Because it's a big industry here to where a lot of locals work there. Um, so I never even knew that places like what it is. I wish I could say the name because it's such a terrific place. I'll when you I gave you my number when you get a chance, text me or call me and I can tell you the name.
Oh,
And it's
definitely,
just
I will.
it's just amazing
Mm.
what they offer to where I never even knew that they offered something like that.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely get the info from you because, it was like a really painful, like horrible thing, this conversation that me and my husband had to have so many times about like what's going to happen to Evelyn, honestly, after we're gone, you
Hmm.
know? And it was like, well, because like, in the future we'll have a better idea of how she's going to be, like if she's going to be able to or want to ever have a relationship or get married or not or live with a roommate or if she would be able to live on her own. Now, like I don't think she's going to be able to live, like I said, totally on her own because she still struggles with a lot of occupational daily things that even though we've gotten so much therapy and we still do like 5 days a week, it's things like locking the door using a key and
Hmm.
stuff. Like she still hasn't learned how to do that. And so it's certain things that I could see would be barriers. I know she'll learn how, like she will learn how, of course. Over the next 10 years, she'll definitely know how to do it. So
What?
like she'll learn how to do all those little things. But it's just I don't know like how she would be living alone. I think she might have to have someone with her, even if it was just like a roommate or a friend or someone that could help her a little bit. But like the reality was also, so say if she always stays with us, if she stays with me, then, how old could I possibly live to be? Like what's the oldest I could live to be? So like even so say if I live to be 90, so then Evelyn would be what if I had her at 27, 28. So what's that like 60? She'd be about 60,
Yeah.
63. Yeah. So even if I did, and still, though, even if I live to be 90, by the time I'm 80, I might not be able to help her with much. So, like, I mean, and then I knew another mother, like someone who's much older than me. She's like my mom's age, how old my mom would have been. And
Hmm.
so like she has a son who's my age. And her son, she put him into like a residential facility where it is kind of like a village, like a city within a city, like you were saying. It
Hmm.
is sort of like a village there. And like, she put him there when he was 20, and she said the reason why she didn't like keep him home until he was 40 and then put him there was because like she wanted him to get used to living without her in case if something were to happen to her. so that he was already used to living on his own, the same way like that he would have been if he didn't have the autism. She
Mhm.
was like, she was explaining it to me, and she said like, sorry, excuse me. She said like, she wanted him to be used to living without her, like the same way as if he was not on the spectrum and he would have moved out around the age of like 20, you know?
Yeah.
So to me, that was like, you know, it's hard to think about, you know. It's hard to think about like what's best for them as opposed to like what's best for us and are we really doing the right thing and everything, you know what I mean?
It's hard. I always thought that my sister would live with my parents. And it's naive to think, because they're older forever. But
Okay.
it's like this place they have a day hab, so even though my sister isn't living there yet, um she gets to go to the location during the day and spend time with the people there to, God forbid, I hate to think it, my we lose my dad. It's not like we're just throwing her away. She would be going to friends.
Right.
Like this
Right.
even has a school to where if my sister was young enough, she's older than me, so she's not young enough. But if she was young enough, she would be able to attend school there. So basically, this campus is set up where they go to school there and then basically transition into then a day hab, and then after the day have transfer into a residential live, work, and all that stuff there. It's interesting
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it's actually like a really good setup for them, you know?
because I was
Yeah.
always afraid. I didn't want to feel like I'm thrown away, and that's what I thought of, with my son at the beginning of his diagnosis and trying to figure, navigating my way through it. I always felt, well, am I not throw him away, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
hard.
totally. Totally, yeah. Because I thought about that a lot, you know. It's like that's kind of true. Like I always think about the way that this woman put it to me. It's kind of true that like she was better off putting him there when he was 20 as opposed to just waiting another 20 years till he was 40 because now, like he's used to totally living at home and everything and then he feels like, yeah,
Did
it's
she ease him
complicated.
into it, or was it just one day pack up move?
Well, no, it was a place where he was going to every day for the day hab program.
Okay.
So
Okay.
he was going there for day hab. He knew them and everything. And he went, yeah, he went
Okay.
and
So it's
did day
kind of like
hab.
what my sister's going through.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not a bad setup, and he seems happy. Like I used to see him come home like on the weekends and stuff. And he would go to the laundromat and do his own laundry. He was like very independent. Me and her son were actually around the same age. So I remember I would see him coming home years ago. I would see him coming home from the laundromat and stuff. And we were both around 21, And I remember thinking, geez, like he's more independent than I am because when I was 21, my mom was still doing my laundry for me. I was like, wow. And he's really, yeah, he's doing well. Um, that was probably it was a smart idea, I guess. I mean, I can't imagine sending Evelyn off in like 10 years. I feel like I might have like put it in my own head a little bit that I'm going to have her with me forever, which is sad. I need to get that out of my head. That's me being like selfish and overprotective and everything and just crazy. Yeah. But like, obviously
I need to get you to move upstate, so you could be around a facility to check it out and possibly work at the facility.
I know, right? I would love that. I would
And
actually I
when
would
we talk,
absolutely love it.
when we talk in private, there's so much resources upstate than there is in the city.
Oh
It,
wow. Yeah,
it
and it's so funny. I've been talking to my husband about moving upstate for like the past 5 years. I was like one day because once I went for treatment there and I was like living up there for 6 months, I fell in love with the scenery. I just fell in
Right,
love with the
city
scenery.
prices for housing must be outrageous.
Oh yeah, we could never afford something here.
I
Never.
like even for apartments, like a two-bedroom in the village I live in is about 900 average.
Oh wow.
I don't know if that's a lot or
No,
I'm
that's
assuming.
that's a little. That's like nothing compared to here. That's
Yeah,
great. Yeah. You can't
and in
get
the village
anything
I'm in, you can walk to the grocery store like Walmart. You would have to either take a cab, a bus, or drive. Um,
right.
but I could never do New York City prices. I
Yeah.
don't even like. I don't even like going. Like I have a three-bedroom house on an
Okay.
acre, and I pay 2,100,
Okay.
which isn't. It's
Not
high, but
bad.
not so high, and that's pretty good for my area.
Yeah.
I know I couldn't get a three-bedroom house in the city for 2,100.
No.
Millie, what
No, it's
state are you in, if you
sickening.
don't mind me asking?
It's sickening here, really. For 900, you could barely even get a studio, a one-room studio, barely.
Oh, that's
Maybe.
crazy.
Oh yeah, people are paying 900 to rent a room in someone else's apartment here. There are
Girl,
people
it's
that
time you guys pack up and move upstate.
I
I can't even.
know.
I don't like the city. I don't
I
like
don't
the
either.
city. It's so expensive. I only go to the city when I go to the airport. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't even like it anymore either. It's not like I enjoy being here. I don't at all. I think I would be much better suited in somewhere where it's more like country life. It would be way more
I
for
couldn't
me.
deal with the noise of the city. I grew up in the sticks, so
Oh, okay. And you hear me here. I got the ambulance sirens going by every 5 minutes.
yeah, we don't have that here.
You
I
hear
mean,
crickets? Do
like
you hear
right,
crickets at night?
I hear crickets. In the summer, sometimes I'll hear a frog. Right now, it's quiet because we just had rain, so it's just a little windy. But you don't hear any police sirens or any of that.
Yeah, that must be really, really beautiful, for
And
real.
there's low income in my village. You can get low income a two-bedroom for like 450.
Oh my God, imagine. That's crazy to me. You can't get anything here, like anything. Oh my God.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
we definitely have to talk. Not saying immediately move up, but it's financially the
I
city.
know.
I couldn't do it.
I know. And
The
it's
price
just
of
like,
parking down there is ridiculous.
yeah, it really is.
And I'm in New York. You know, one of the highest taxed, but my county, it's one of the. You go up two counties up from me, and you can get what I have for 900. What I'm paying 2,100 for, you can get for 900. Two more counties up.
Oh, you're kidding me.
The further upstate you go, the cheaper. Yeah, two more
Oh,
counties up
okay.
and near the Amish, so you have lots of land. That one you need a car.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I used to tell my husband is, well, we move upstate and that's when I'll learn how to drive because I don't know how to drive either. So, like, that's something that I've been wanting to do. So I
Well,
kept telling him, huh?
if you live in a village, um, everything that you need is right there in walking distance. Like the grocery store is 4 blocks away,
Oh, really?
so everything's in walking distance. I have a car, so I can go to Walmart, but
Right.
everything's walking distance.
Oh my God. Well, that's
Guys,
cool.
like jobs, the place that I was telling you about, I could walk 5 blocks away in an opposite direction, and that's right there.
Oh, wow. Huh.
It's you would want to live in a village rather than in the country.
Yeah, But I'm gonna learn how to drive though. Once we move, I'm gonna learn how. I want to learn. I never drove before, and I've always been like afraid, But I want to learn. I'm still afraid, but I really want to learn. I'm so limited. I'm like, even if it was like my husband learned and he drove, I would
Mhm.
still want to learn though, because I don't want to be like as if I can't go anywhere because I can't take myself.
Yeah, and
I want to,
where I live, I'm a half hour from Pennsylvania, so I go and food shop there, so no taxes. And I'm 45 minutes from New Jersey, so I clothing shop there, so there's no taxes.
oh
And I'm
my God.
2 hours from Connecticut.
Yeah, that's super smart. That's really smart of you. Good.
I go buy my cigarettes in Pennsylvania because I can't afford New York prices.
Ah, oh, are they cheaper in Pennsylvania?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. How much are they there?
$8
Oh, okay. Not so bad.
for Marlboro compared
Hey,
to New York.
thanks, Autumn Renee. Hey, how are you? Yeah, it's ridiculous here. Like most stores, most like bodegas around this neighborhood sell them bootleg for $8 a pack. But like if
Oh,
I was to
these are
people,
Marlboro for $8 in PA.
oh yeah, no, that's awesome.
That's one thing I miss that I like about the city is all the bodegas. Up here,
Yeah,
there's no bodegas. I do miss
yeah.
I do miss when I used to go down to the city and hang out with friends. All the bodegas.
Yeah, they're kind of handy, I guess. They are convenient. But like I won't miss them. I'm not gonna miss them at all, honestly.
You're
I
gonna
probably
miss them
will.
for the convenience. For the convenience, you're gonna miss them.
Yeah, that's what people tell me though. Yeah, I probably will. I
And
will.
you live in a city that never sleeps. I live in a village where your business is shut down by 10 o'clock. Walmart shuts down at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, that's true. I'm
The
used
only
to
thing
being
open
able.
the only thing open 24 hours business wise is the gas station.
Oh, okay.
So it's
Oh,
funny.
okay.
I hate it when, my babies are sick in the middle of the night and I got to go pay gas station price for medicine because I ran out here at home. So that's the only con about living upstate.
Yeah.
Is the food good at those things? At a bodega, I think it's good.
Oh, the coffee cup like Olivia always had with the Asian writing. Ah, 3 times I went there, I never got one. Like what? Like the blue and white coffee cup? Is that what maybe you're thinking of? Like the blue and white coffee cup that you would get from a bodega with the Asian writing. I'm not sure. You might be thinking of the blue and white coffee cup. Olivia from Law and Order. Probably shouldn't assume everyone just knows that. She's like, yeah, the blue and white, and sometimes red. Oh yeah, I could imagine the coffee cup you're describing. I'm gonna have to get a cup of coffee from one of these bodegas one day and then come live to show you what it looks like. But it's not blue and white though. It's like I don't know. I think it's some random tan colored cup with pictures of coffees all over it.
I love bodega coffee and their sandwiches at the bodega.
Yeah, the bacon, egg, and cheese and everything in the morning for sure. I'm kind of got used to having that around. The bacon, egg,
That
and
that's
cheese.
that's what I miss, the convenience of that, because here, like I said, everything shuts down. Like if you work at 5 in the morning, there's nothing open besides mobile, which their breakfast choices suck.
Yeah,
So you got to prepare the night beforehand.
right. Oh yeah, totally,
I love bodega.
totally.
You should do a video exploring some bodegas
Oh my God, that's a good idea. That's
and
a
what you
really
can
good
find
idea.
and what you could find in bodegas, because a lot of people, you say a bodega, most people don't know what is a bodega.
Oh really?
Most people don't that I've spoken to online that isn't from New York or New Jersey. They really don't know what is a bodega and
Oh
what do they offer.
wow.
So then you have to explain it. So I think that would be cool for the viewers.
Oh wow, yeah, totally. That would be a great idea.
Even
Thank
if it's
you.
just an upload, a video upload, if you can't, go live, if it's just a video upload of different
Yeah,
types of bodegas. Because it's cool with the city, the bodegas, they're owned by different nationalities. So they carry
yeah.
different things.
Oh, it's true. It's so true. Yeah. And like you have certain ones and they're all catering to different ethnicities, you know?
Yes, I think that would be some excellent content. Even do it on members only, I would suggest. Explore bodegas in the
Oh,
neighborhood and just go explore it and show.
yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, maybe pre-recorded. Right.
That
Oh
way,
my God.
data. Yeah,
Yeah. That's a
I
freaking great idea, and I'm totally gonna do it. Thank you.
different
I'm actually,
nationality run ones. I
what's
think
that?
that would be cool. Like we get the bodegas here in the summertime because we get a lot of the Hasidic from the city. They come up
Oh
here and
yeah.
camp. They come up here and camp, so they'll be back by you Labor Day. So in the summer they open up their own type of bodegas. So it's
Okay.
interesting to go into a kosher bodega and see what they offer.
Oh my God. I don't know if I've ever seen a kosher bodega.
You've never there aren't they? Where are you? The Bronx or Brooklyn?
Well, no, I'm in Brooklyn.
Uh, they,
I
they
guess
live
I have.
they live in Brooklyn.
Yeah, no, I know. I used to live in Borough Park, Brooklyn, which was almost exclusively Hasidic Jews. And we were like the only ones in the neighborhood that were not because we were there for the longest, I guess, and then they just bought out the few blocks around us. And
Hmm.
as far as bodegas, um, it's interesting. It
Yeah,
seems, I don't know. I think the closest to a Hasidic, like to a kosher bodega, would be like they had little pharmacies. They had a lot of mom and pop pharmacies that would translate into like maybe like candies or sometimes like rugula, some pastries and stuff, but not really like a bodega. I'm trying to think. I got to think more about that one. A kosher
I wonder if they
bodega.
just pop them up here in the summer then.
Wait, what?
I said I wonder if they just pop up the bodegas here in the summer because
Yeah,
not
they
not this
might.
summer. It's not really the Hasidics aren't up here, so there's really no need.
They might. They might do that. Yeah, yeah, because they're the only ones like in that vicinity. So they need to have it for themselves. So they make it. But like then when they come back to the city, they have them all over.
Yeah, because
Wait,
they open Memorial Day and then they close around Labor Day, and that's basically when they come up and go back down.
oh, that could be it. That
But
could be it.
any type of um bodega, I don't know how far you are from Little Italy, but those bodegas might be interesting compared to like a Muslim run bodega, which offers something different
Right. Oh
or
yeah,
different content.
definitely. Yeah. Oh, that's an awesome idea. And I have my surgery coming up soon. So like once I do that, that's August 23rd, and then after that, I'll be good to go. They say like a couple of weeks even for the recovery and you're walking and you're like, you can be active and everything. And so like even in another month from now, in a month and a half from now, I'll be so much more active and more energetic and stuff. And then because I really wanted to do some like IRL streaming,
Hmm.
where I'm going out and doing things in real life, and I was like trying to come up with ideas, and yeah, and that's perfect because like I'm in the hood. My neighborhood is awful. I hate it. I don't like it, but I am in the hood, and I do have tons of bodegas all over. And then I could travel to, like you said, Little Italy or even like Chinatown,
Hmm.
different places. And then I gotta look. I'm so curious now about the kosher bodega, if it's a thing. I don't think it is, but I'm gonna find out. And then even like the little pharmacies, the kosher pharmacies and stuff, I could even incorporate different things. And I think that would be really awesome. People would probably love that.
I think they would, and it's something, to put. Hey, make
Thank
sure you're
you.
for September. We're going to be doing some, even if it's uploads. We're going to be doing
Right.
only uploads for that. I think people would be interested. And then as you're walking, just don't show the street sign unless it's, far away from your house. Then you can be like, okay, bodega on 5th and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
This is the bodega. Just don't go to your neighborhood bodega.
Right. Exactly.
You know how these people can be. Like, walk out some. Don't go too close to home.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. I
YouTube scares me because I see how real life people go on people,
yeah.
and it's like, oh my goodness. I just
I know, because like the rational part of your brain, you would try to tell yourself that like no other rational human would do such a thing, you know? But oh yeah, they do it all the time. They just don't care, you
like
know?
I wouldn't even feel comfortable going to one of my neighborhood, kosher bodegas and recording it for fear that now I said that it's only here from this time to this time, that somebody would pinpoint where I live. It's
Yeah,
it's scary. It's scary.
it's
I
true.
I have a question. Do you hear an accent on me? Because I hear an accent on you, and you're in the city, and I'm up in the sticks.
Okay. A little bit. A little bit. Like I wouldn't think that you lived right around the corner, you know? A little bit, yeah.
Have you have? I thought you were Staten Island.
Oh, really?
With your accent, I thought Staten Island.
Huh, I was in Staten Island for like the first 5 years of my life, but I was only five. But I was actually in Staten Island for my first 5 years.
I always wonder from a New Yorker to a New Yorker, because you're from the,
Yeah,
if I sound like you, because I'm up in the sticks.
yeah. I think like similar but different. Like I could tell that yeah, like yeah, I wouldn't think you lived right down the block, but I wouldn't think you lived that far either.
Like, I notice we both talk fast, which is a New York thing, because my southern friends always tell me to slow down, and I'm like, what do you mean?
Or
And they're
people
like,
tell me to
you talk way
breathe
too
while I'm
fast.
talking. A lot of times people tell me to breathe while I'm talking. They'll be like, Tara, breathe. And I'm like, I'm just trying to like get my point across. And
And see, you're easy for me to understand, where, like, I don't know, other
oh,
states,
that's
when they
true.
to me, they're like, slow down. I didn't catch what you say, and I find other states talk too slow, to where I'm
Oh
like,
my God.
because I don't want
It's
to take
true.
this time. Take 10 minutes for you to say a sentence. That's what it feels like.
Exactly. Because, yeah, exactly. Like, no, I'd rather not waste 10 minutes of your time just trying to tell you this one thing. Yeah. Exactly. And it does, and I understand you a lot better than I understand a lot of other people too. So then it's not as much of an accent. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because certain other people, and it's not that I don't understand. It's just that, like, I guess when you're used to, a certain way of talking and you just pick it up right away. And then
But
when you
then
hear a
of
different
words.
accent, yeah. Even like I remember when I used to talk on the phone with Michelle. And I would feel as if I couldn't understand a lot of things that she said because of her accents,
She
you
talked
know.
way too slow for me, that it would aggravate me, and I would leave. And I would and
Oh,
I would catch her on replay and speed it up,
she
because
did that
I
on purpose, I
I don't
think.
have the patience.
I swear, I think she did it on purpose just to like drag things out and piss people off. I don't know. But I do. I think she definitely did it on purpose. Yeah, to totally drag things out and to piss people off.
I would have to speed her up just to get on to, like, the speed that we talk.
Yeah, you put her on like 1.75 and she just sounds regular. But that accent, she did have a thick accent and I didn't notice it until I tried to talk on the phone with her and it was different because now I wasn't seeing her face. So it
Hmm.
was like harder for me to understand. I guess I do some lip reading as I take in information or something. Or I think we all do because I notice like I wear glasses and contacts, but if I take my glasses off, it's like I can't hear you. I can't hear what you're saying. It takes me longer to process what you're saying to me because now I can't hear.
Understand.
You get it?
Yeah, yeah. No, I understand. Yeah,
So
Science
it's
Girl, I heard the accent from. Her accent annoys me because it's slow. But yeah, I heard
yeah.
her accent.
Oh, Science Girl has that drawl like yeah, she has that New Orleans accent. She has it probably more than Michelle has it.
I don't
Yeah.
I don't hear the same accent with Michelle.
No, not quite. Not as Science Girls. Science Girls sounds like an authentic New Orleans accent. Not that I would know what one sounds like, but to me it does. And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
Michelle
yeah.
sounds and then Michelle sounds more like mixed, like just southern-ish to me. But I don't know.
She reminds me of like an upstate down south mix. I
Yeah.
She doesn't if she had an accent. I don't think she has an accent. I just think she talks slow.
Oh, really? No, there's an accent. There's
I,
definitely like a southern accent, I think. Because when I talked to her on the phone, I felt like I could barely understand her. And I felt so embarrassed to keep asking what, I hate that. If I ask what a second time and then I still don't understand the person, I never know what to do after that. Sometimes I guess I usually ask a third time, but it's like awkward. Like how many times am I going to say, I'm sorry, I still don't understand what you're saying?
what I love the accent I love the most is the Jersey.
Oh yeah, Jersey is a great accent.
I love the authentic Jersey. Not you just move there and you're learning to speak it, but no, that Jersey accent. It's just
The
like
thick Jersey
I grew up
accent.
listening to Howard Stern. Like that was my favorite thing.
Oh,
So
me too.
he would
Me
have that
too.
Staten Island lady. He'd have somebody from Jersey, and the Staten Island lady with her accent, which reminds me of you. and then and then the Jersey accent. I forget what caller was from Jersey. I used to love just listening to him talk.
Oh, I used to listen to Howard Stern every morning too. I
That cabs
remember
out here. That was a fake. That was a fake Jersey accent.
cabs here. Oh yeah.
You know, Snooky from Jersey Shore. She actually grew up upstate New York. She's not
In
even
Poughkeepsie.
originally Jersey.
Yes, that's right. She's from Poughkeepsie.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, I heard none of them are like real Jersey people.
No,
But I don't know.
they're not.
I think maybe Sammy. I think maybe Sammy
Paulie
Sweetheart.
D used to work for the radio station up here in Poughkeepsie. Um,
Oh yeah.
it was K104. It was a radio station up here in Jersey. When you went towards the city, that radio station turned Spanish. But yeah, he used to be a DJ in Poughkeepsie on the radio.
Oh well.
And Nicole from Poughkeepsie.
Okay.
I
Then I
forget
know,
other ones originally from, but they're not true Jersey.
right. We know Vinny is from Staten Island.
Okay.
We know that. And then, I don't know. I think Sammy might have been from Jersey. I think she might have been the one that was from Jersey, but I'm
I
not
didn't hear
sure.
a Jersey accent on her.
I heard some on her. I think it depends on what part of Jersey you're from, too.
I guess.
Because I have a family member that she's in Jersey, and she sounds to me like she has such a major accent
Hmm.
that to me she sounds like she's from somewhere like totally different. Like, I don't know. She has a major accent, but not like a Jersey accent, like a country-ish accent.
I wonder if she
You
was
know,
on the border of
on the
like
board.
Jersey.
Um,
Oh, deeper. I know deeper you get into Jersey, the more the accent picks up.
what's that?
I know the deeper you get into Jersey, away from the New York border, your accent picks up more than closer to.
Okay. So maybe it's like all the way out then? She sounds just like very country-ish to me. Like not Jersey. I don't know.
T-Spiracy, I listened to her once. She has an accent. I always thought it
Oh,
was
oh
a New.
yeah.
I always
I
thought
know
New Zealand accent.
a New Zealand accent.
That's what I assumed she was from, was New Zealand.
T-Spiracy. I've watched her a couple of times. Um, let me see. What accent would I have placed her for? Maybe like New Hampshire? No? You wouldn't place her for like a New Hampshire, kind of like Paige Noel sounds like? Or
Mm,
am I off? Maybe I'm thinking of someone else.
Paige to me sounds close to you, but a little thicker. In her accent. T-Spiracy, I don't know. I I
She's
always
like,
I always assumed New Zealand for T-Spiracy, but then when she says some certain words, I could see it being like either a Staten Island or Jersey accent, but mostly um I would say New Zealand, cuz she has more of an accent than Vinny G.
oh
South
yeah,
African accent. I never heard of that.
he has an obvious Australian accent, Vinny G, right?
The South
Is it
African, I've never heard that accent.
you change your Siri to that to the South African accent?
I'm gonna have to do that. I want to hear what it sounds like. I'm gonna have to Google. Hold on, let me
So
go to
funny.
my iPad. Let me get my iPad.
Oh my God. Yeah, East Coast. Yeah, yeah, you might be, she might be thinking of someone different, Autumn Renee. Because I get East Coast, I get like New Hampshire kind of vibes from T-Spiracy. I know who you're talking about, the blonde woman, and she sometimes wears glasses,
She's
and
the
she's
one with
usually
the spaceship or something in her intro or outro, right?
the spaceship.
Like a UFO or something.
I don't know. Is she Autumn Renee? I only watched her a couple of times.
I
I
watched
think
her that one time.
she was
South
like covering Unirock, I think.
South African accent. Hold on, I put on YouTube on my iPad. We're about to hear this South African accent. I want to hear what it sounds like. See. Speaking South African, shocking South Africans by speaking language. Okay, here's one.
Hey there, Jim Johnson from Accent Help here, and I wanted to share a little bit about.
Come on,
It's actually very
stop talking.
what I primarily visualize it, and also start with a
Okay,
really.
you're speaking English. Okay, let's try this one.
I think you like it. Okay, in this video, I will teach you how to understand the South African
Highly
accent.
Rodney.
Is that it? How that guy was talking?
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Lean English. I'm Ed, and I'm here to help you achieve your pronunciation goals.
Lean English
In
instead of
today's
learn?
video, I'm going to be discussing the South African accent, which is
Yes,
approximately 5 million people. South Africa is a linguistically sound is generally replaced with a
that's
central
the accent.
sound in South African English. And the weak form of the word the is used in all contexts. So a phrase like the image in South Africa is likely to be pronounced the image.
The image. That sounds British. The
A
image.
little bit. It does have some British influence to it for sure.
The image.
You,
I would think if it was a little hoity toity in it, I would think British. I
yeah.
are they a Commonwealth? Is South Africa a Commonwealth of the UK?
Oh, I have no idea. Maybe Autumn Renee knows. I don't
It,
know.
okay, she says it's like an Australian and UK mixed in one. Okay, yeah, I could hear that.
Oh, Melly, you remember being in Unirocks in the very beginning? Yeah. Well, I went into Unirocks like after I started following everything with Dre McCrae, and then like I was following like Molly Golightly and stuff, and then I started checking out Unirock because he was doing some streams on it at the time, and I was just like trying to figure out who was giving like more honest information really in between Katie Joy, Uni Rock, and Molly Golightly. I was trying to figure out where I was getting the most truthful information from, because I was like, it seems like it can't be that all three of them are telling the truth. So, like, which one is lying, or are all three lying, or what? And at the time, I felt like maybe that I might get the truth out of one of them.
I listened
Yeah.
to him one time, and I can't. I watched one episode of his, and I can't tolerate him.
Yeah, yeah, he's a different character, right? I'm
I
not sure what to make of him. I still don't know if even if I like him or not.
Michelle was in Unirock's Discord.
Oh yeah, she was in Unirock's Discord,
Oh my god.
and I remember hearing a lot about that, but I wasn't in the disc. I've never been in a Discord at all. I only heard about it, but I've never even done it whatsoever. So I've never done anything in any Discord. But I know that Michelle was in it because I heard a lot of stuff about it. Yeah. Oh, Flava too. Okay. Even though all his people admitted he didn't. All his people admitted he didn't what? Oh, remember Michelle was demanding $10,000 from him because he didn't unblock her.
In this whole thing, I'm Team Molly. Like, I don't know. I'm Team Molly. I adore her.
Oh,
But
me
of us,
too.
we all
I
feel
am too. I can't say like a huge fan or anything, but I'm totally team Molly all the way. Yeah. I am.
we may have differences of opinions, but that's okay. I adore Marissa.
Aw.
I met her in person in October of last year, and
Oh,
it
you did?
yeah, I went to one of her meet and greets.
Oh, get out of here.
She's so tiny. She's a
Really?
person, but she's one of the sweetest women in person. I was afraid when I met her that because you hear a lot of awful things about her, and
Yeah.
I was afraid that I would be judged um, because I'm not rich and I'm not all these things that people say you have to be. So
Right.
was very nervous, but in person she's a sweetheart. Honest to God.
Oh my God. No, I believe it because I could see her being really good in person. Molly reminds
I was
me.
around for that, so
Aw.
I don't
Oh
know what
wow.
happened with that. So I can't. I just know from my experience, it's been a year since I've been a Patreon of hers, and I get to
Oh
see a
well.
side that's not portrayed or twisted.
Yeah. Well, that's true. That's true for sure. Oh well.
Art.
Oh yeah, she seems like she would be really cool in real life though. She reminds me a lot of like some of the women in my family, like some of my aunts and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So she could easily be a woman in my family. Molly, she'd fit right in. So yeah, I was totally but I could see it like what you were saying, like just because of all the like stigma that she has on her because of stuff that people said about her online. That like meeting her, I would be self conscious that like, oh my God, what if she thinks this? What if she thinks that? Although I'm sure she wouldn't. You know what I mean? But I would feel the same way just because of like the way that people paint her. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just if her or Uni Rock, if I had to choose one to believe, Uni Rock or her, I would believe her 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, did you see when she was on Unirock's panel or he was on hers or whatever?
I did, and I lost that tiny little
Uh-huh.
respect I had for him. That
Yeah.
little bit because he folded.
Yeah, he sure did.
He, he folded. If
He
you're this
did.
strong in your convictions about somebody, you're
Yeah.
stand. I don't know. Maybe that's just me, but stand 10 toes down on how you feel. But
Right.
to fold like
Right.
that, yeah, no.
Oh yeah, he folded like a deck of cards.
If I feel a certain way, like there's certain people, if I were to go on panel and have a discussion with, I wouldn't uh kiss their bottom just to make them feel good.
Yeah.
It's just he folded. I had like, because he's a veteran, I had a little tiny of respect for him. But seeing him
Right.
fold after
Right.
hearing about all these lives he was doing to support
Yeah.
those, that it just went out of the way. No, no, no.
Right. I was like in disbelief when I was watching that night. I was like, dude, what the hell? He had so much to say about her until he was like confronted face to face, and then suddenly he's just like a pussycat, you know? I was like,
And
what
then
the hell?
got off panel, I went to his live just to see how he would react. And
Yeah.
the tough guy came back on. And it was like, wait a minute, where was that 2 seconds before?
Oh, once he had her off panel.
Yeah, and he went to his live.
Yeah.
He got his big kahunas back and back
Right.
onto that dribble that he was spewing.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, he should have been embarrassed of himself with that one. I'm sure he was, you know. I'm
I
sure
think
he
he
is.
thought he had people duped. Like, I don't know Uni Rock besides um that first time of me watching a live after doing these exposés, and then when he came on Marissa's panel. That
Yeah.
I've never seen him beforehand and how he would conduct himself, but that was just, I think that was the moment his YouTube career sunk.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Definitely. Like if it was a series, they would have called it like that was when it jumped the shark. Like that was when it went off, you know?
Mhm.
Yeah, they used to say with series they would call it jumping the shark. But like that was when the series is just done. Like it's not good anymore. It went from being good to bad because it was like they took that reference from an episode of Happy Days. That they had an episode of Happy Days where Fonzie jumped over the shark or something when he was like surfing in the ocean, and they called it like a flop moment. It was a flop. You know,
Mhm.
after that moment, the Happy Days went downhill. So then they used it jump in the shark from that moment on or whatever. They so the series would jump the shark once it would be like that was it, and now it's only downhill from there. So like yeah, that was when Uni Rock's little series jumped the shark, so to speak. It was yeah, because I watched a few episodes of his because I just wanted to try to get a perspective of
Mhm.
I just wanted the honesty on this case, you know. But yeah, I watched that and I was like, oh, okay. Right. Whatever respect I did have was gone. I was like, okay. That was when I started watching Only Molly. And then I met Michelle.
How did
And
you, if you don't mind sharing, like, because I don't know, how did you get in contact with Michelle? Like, to, I only know of you of always being there, but how did you guys first click?
yeah. So like I was watching her on Molly's and I was watching her when she was on Molly's panel and it was like maybe four people. Hey, Fierce Cannon Clips. It was maybe like four people on panel with her and it was that Lithuanian Lolita that later turned out to be Sparrow that was going crazy on her and saying all this stuff about her son, you know, her deceased son and everything. And so like and Michelle flipped out that night and just lost it and she was like screaming and crying and she was a real mess. And so after she got off the panel that night, she had come on with her first and last name on YouTube. So
Yep.
I said, you know, I'm going to search her on Facebook. and see if I can't find her and reach out to her and see if she's all right at least. So I searched her on Facebook and I found her profile and I said, all right, this looks like it's her. And I sent her a Facebook message after she got off panel that night off Molly's, like directly after she came off the panel. And I
Mhm.
sent her a message on Facebook Messenger, figuring that she'd never see it, and that even if she did, she would never respond to a stranger, you know? But I
Uh-huh.
was like, I know we don't know each other. I'm so sorry. I know I did randomly search you out on Facebook because you came on with your first and last name. I only wanted to make sure that you were okay. I seen that you were a mess. Like, I'm sorry. They're putting you through it and everything. But like, if you ever want to talk, you could reach out to me. Like, I'm here for you. I know I'm a stranger, but like, I'm here basically. And she responded right away. She
Wow.
messaged me back right away. Like 2 minutes later, I got a ping and I was like, holy crap. And I couldn't believe it because up until that point, I had never communicated with anybody from YouTube ever. I never reached out to anybody at all or interacted with them or even went into a live chat and said hello. I hadn't even said hello in a live chat. I'd only watched. But after I saw her that night, such a wreck, I honestly felt so like bad. I was like, let me just see if this lady's going to be all right or what. Because I felt like, if, God forbid, if I don't reach out and something happens. Oh,
Yeah.
I know. I was way to be a creeper. I know, Autumn Renee, right? But I told her that too. I said, sorry to be like, sorry to stalk you out or whatever, but I did. So, yeah. I know, I know. But, I know. I just wanted to see she was going to be all right. And so when she messaged me back, I was like, oh, wow. I really didn't expect a response. And she was just going back and forth right away. I should have known because immediately she messaged me back like four messages. And one of
Mhm.
them was like a whole paragraph long, going on and on about how, no, I'm totally fine. She's like, I actually have real life friends and stuff. She was almost snippy with me from the very beginning, saying how she had real life friends as if to imply, like, and I don't need to cry on some strange internet stranger's shoulder. It's like, I
Mhm.
have real life friends. I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine. Like all this stuff. She was just making it like as if I don't understand. I'm fine. And so I was like, all right, well, that's great. Just wanted to check and everything. And she still wanted a message. So she did want someone to talk to, even though she's saying she didn't. And so, yeah, she wanted to just go on and on. Right away, one of the first things she said to me, it was like, I don't understand. Something about, she's like, I have real life friends. And then she goes to mention about her weight. She was like, I'm I'm super fit. I weigh 107 or whatever it was. I'm super fit. I weigh 107 pounds and I've had four children, four pregnancies, and all this stuff that like didn't have anything to do with it. Like her weight or her fitness had nothing at all to do with none of this. Like there was no reason to insert that there. And she did insert it, like that was her way of just letting me know like my life is great, I guess, because I'm so thin.
Mhm.
I, I guess, yeah, that is her way of saying like, no, I'm good. I'm even, I'm super skinny and everything. Because I was like, okay. I was like, and she sent me a picture of her in a bikini and everything.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and I sent it back. I was like, oh wow, that's great. I've never been able to wear a bikini like that, not even before I had children. Just to
Mhm.
let her know, like, weight isn't everything to everyone. Right off the bat, as much as I did like her and want to be her friends, which yeah, I really did. I also wanted to try to tell her weight is not everything, but she would not hear that at all. She wouldn't believe me when I told her that I was a bigger woman, but I was confident in myself and that I was not embarrassed or ashamed about my weight. She didn't believe that. She really didn't. She really didn't. She felt like I must just be trying to say that to overhype my confidence, to like overcompensate because I must be so insecure about the fact that I'm fat. It's like, dude, it doesn't bother me. Like, it really doesn't. She couldn't believe that for anything. Yeah, and it doesn't bother me. It bothers me that I have this hernia right now. The hernia bothers me, but I know I'm a big girl and I'm totally cool with that. Yeah, I'd like to lose weight for my health, but only for health reasons. Other than that, I'm totally secure in being a bigger girl. She couldn't wrap her head around that to me, and it doesn't matter. I could look at a woman who's got a thin, beautiful body and say, wow, she's gorgeous. I've never had a body like that, and admire her just the same as I could a woman my own size. And she couldn't see that at all. And I hoped that I was going to get her to like break through. I was like, if only I could just break on through to the other side with this woman. She just needs a breakthrough from everything, even with the YouTube, the way it was getting to her so much. And I felt like I could help her with that and get her to realize that, like, all you got to do is control yourself, be a little bit normal, have your channel, get monetized, you know, and then, like, if you want to be crazy in your real life, be crazy and do what you want to do, but don't film it, you know? Don't film it and put it online for everyone to watch. I mean, that's not going to be good, you know?
Yeah.
Like, Eh, yeah, and yeah, I was desperate for a friendship at that point. As pathetic as it sounds, I haven't had any real friends in the longest time, and I guess I was lonely, and I couldn't really see it, but I mean, I was, and I felt maybe someone that seems like such a lunatic like Michelle wouldn't be judgmental of me at all. So I was
Mm.
like, she might be a perfect friend for me because she is a friggin' mess. So how the hell is she going to judge me? So that's good. Yeah. And I'll admit it, I totally admit this stuff. And yeah, and watching her too, watching her for 12 hours a day, seeing her be a major train wreck and stuff. Yeah, it did make me feel a little bit better about my own life, especially in comparison, you know? It's like, wow, like my life is not so bad, and maybe I'm not that much of a lunatic really, and all kinds of stuff. And that's sad. We shouldn't have to, watch somebody else to feel that way. But I did, and I admit it. And I wanted to have a real friend in her, and it's sad because I thought I did for a while, even though, like, when I exposed all the text messages and stuff on bots panel, and then you could look back and see that she really wasn't a friend to me, you know? Like
Yeah.
every time I would message her and say stuff about myself, she never responded. I'd write to her about my hernia and how I was in pain and everything, and she'd write back, "Just lost my channel," you know.
I did see that, but I'm with Melly here with her saying if Michelle sent me a bikini pic, I would have blocked.
That you
I
would
would
have what?
I would have blocked. I would have blocked her instantly because I would have been
Oh
like, this
shit.
lady's a lunatic. I'm glad
Yeah,
she's okay, but she's a lunatic block. I just
yeah. Well, I mean, I knew that. I knew that right off the bat. The first four texts that came through told me a lot about her.
I would
Yeah,
be curious how you came about because I've never seen you in any chat except for when I would watch the replay on Michelle and you would be top mod Terra and I'd be like, where did
yeah.
you come from?
Yeah, that's because Michelle's chat, I'm pretty sure Michelle's chat was the first chat I ever participated in. Before hers, I might have said hello in Unirock's one time. I might have said hello in Molly's one time, but nothing more than hello, if that. And I don't even know if that was. But Michelle's was the only chat I was ever in. She was the only YouTuber that I ever had any communications with, you know. Um, yeah, I didn't go in chats or anything before her. I only started watching like the chats and everything after like Dre McCrae and Molly, and then I started watching the chat. And then, there was a night with the panel. I messaged her, and then we were messaging back and forth on Facebook for a while. And I kept telling her, like, you need to just start your own channel. This is ridiculous. And I'm sure she had other people telling her that too. Because then, like, a few weeks later, I saw that she had her channel, and I was like, oh wow, yeah. And I just, you know, started following her. I guess from the first live. I saw her first live. I must have came in like halfway through on her first live. And because I was like, why didn't she message me when she started the channel? But
Her
we
first
messaged.
live, I knew that her first live showed me that all her lives were going to be a dumpster fire.
Oh yeah.
I
Her
knew
first.
that from watching her very first live, but just the way she carried herself, I don't know. I guess I would never do it, so seeing somebody else do what I wouldn't do, it just
Yeah.
dumpster fire.
Yeah. I know. Like I think she was like trying to rehearse it and stuff that first live as if it was going to go a certain kind of way. But then once she started drinking, She was supposed to drink water, I think, and pretend it was vodka. And then, like, in an hour in, she was like, "Oh, I might as well have a real shot of Tito's." And then she started drinking, and it was all downhill. Yeah. I remember watching, and I was like, "Damn, don't drink." The first live, I was like, just, keep on with the water. That's funny, like pretend that it's vodka. That's
I'm
one
at the
thing.
point looking back that I don't even think it was water at the beginning.
Oh, you don't think it was water at all?
No, I think she had liquid courage to do that live. Hmm.
Oh, well, oh, yeah. Sure. Well, she definitely had a couple of drinks beforehand, at least. Yeah. Of course, she wasn't sober.
I don't believe that that was water at all.
And if it was, then she had still had a few drinks prior to that, you know?
Before she went live, yeah. It
Yeah. Oh,
maybe
for
it was
sure.
one cup of water, but the rest of it before and during the live. Which live
The
again?
first
Her
one.
her very first one, the
The
train
first
wreck.
one. Yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
that always puzzled me with you because I always sat back and I would I would question myself. Where did you come from? Did you know that it was a dumpster fire? And if you didn't, I don't mean to sound mean, but what was wrong with you? You know?
I know. I know.
And I don't mean to turn the conversation on Michelle, because I'm glad how you came about and with your channel to where I can turn it on with my kids around and be safe enough that my little ones can listen, not
Yes.
worry about
Yes.
craziness happening. You've come a
Right.
long way, Tara.
Thank you.
Because
Thank you
originally
so
I wasn't going to
much.
give you a chance, and then that one time I saw you with your daughter, and
Oh,
I was like, how she handles her daughter, it has to be somebody different than who I saw, watching the replay chats.
yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. And it just goes to show how much that, like, when you are just typing in words, and like, even if you're not coming on live or coming on a panel, and even when you talk, even just talking on panel, it's still more like real life, that's making things more real. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, now you feel a lot more real to me. Not that you didn't feel real to me before, but now having spoken to you, it's more real. So
Yeah,
like,
well, even with text reading it, I could say something. Even talking, I hear it a lot from people from other parts of our country. The way I talk, I may sometimes or type may come off as rude or condescending, and that's not my point. That's not what I'm trying to portray. And
right.
it's interesting. Even this with our cameras off, somebody may
Yeah.
listen to it and may you know put our speech as being in a different direction than what we're intending it to be.
Yeah, I think that's what I was worried about too. That's why I wanted to make sure I was always on cam also, was
Mhm.
so I was afraid that, like, by doing a stream like this where now people can't see me, that they were going to be able to easily misconstrue what I was saying without seeing, like, my facial expressions that match, you
Exactly,
know?
exactly. Like
Totally.
I hope anybody watching the replay doesn't um, clip or misconstrue something to be one way when it wasn't meant to be that.
Oh, I know, right? Can you imagine? This one freaking time, then I'd be pissed.
You never know who's watching.
I know.
And then I'm trying to be careful, and it's so hard because being from New York, we're used to
It's
talking
okay.
a certain way, and
Yeah,
what
it's
we don't
okay.
perceive as being rude or disrespectful, other parts of the country do, and it's so hard to try to be that happy medium because I'm just used to talking like this.
Right. We're used to just being open and telling it like it is. But I
You
think
know,
I
us New
think a lot of
Yorkers, we
people
don't
can
give a
appreciate.
s. We don't give a s.
I think a lot of people can appreciate that, though. I think a lot of
No, a
people.
lot of people unfortunately get offended.
Well, I hope not, and I hope that nobody would misconstrue or take anything the wrong way. you
I
know?
hope not. I think we had a wonderful conversation up here on panel with earlier with true crime, and then and then just me and you. It's been, I'm glad you did open panel. This is the first panel, well, besides reading text messages the other day for true crime on her panel, that I've actually felt comfortable enough to come on, because I'm always thinking to myself, I don't want to portray myself to be something that I'm not trying to be.
Aw, I'm so glad, and I'm so glad that you feel comfortable to come on my panel. I feel honored, you know? Thank you. And no, you've portrayed yourself great. I think that you've done a great job and you portrayed yourself. It seems like I can tell the kind of person that you
You
are, you know?
comfortable.
Yeah,
Normally I would be standing here shaking. Like, I started off the phone call, not the phone call, but the panel here was pacing back and forth, because I have this anxiety in me, to where now I'm
yeah.
actually standing still and having a conversation with you. So you're very relaxing.
Oh, thank you.
Very,
So are
very
you.
relaxing, to where I'm not fidgeting. Like, when I first started the panel, I was smoking like 10 cigarettes.
Yeah.
Because it's just that nervous. I have that nervousness about me to with other people and being judged and all that stuff. But
Yeah.
you made it easy. I'm glad you did the panel. I hope you do more in the future, and more people
Thanks.
hop on. I would love to have, different viewpoints on different type of topics.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm totally gonna keep doing it. Yeah, I love it.
And
Thank
Autumn
you so
Renee,
much.
whatever you got to say, you're not gonna offend me. I don't have to agree to what you say, but that's your words. Don't feel like you got to cut it down because I'm on here. Just because I like somebody that somebody else may not like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, and that's cool. You know, we're all adults, so as long as we can be respectful, then I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
I'm
we're
not going to
good.
call you out and be like, how dare you say this about blah 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 blah. No, we all have our opinions. I don't expect, like we were talking about earlier, cookie cutter people.
Right.
No such thing.
Right. Like just, it's okay if we don't agree. You don't have to like pretend like you agree with me just so that we could still be friends. We could still be friends and disagree. It's totally
Exactly.
fine. I'd rather you tell me than to just be like, "Oh yeah, Tara, I agree with every single thing," and meanwhile you don't. That would suck. I would feel terrible. you know? Yeah. So Fierce Cannon is clipping everything.
Oh, she's a clip channel.
Yeah, I think so.
I've
Yeah.
never I've never heard of her. I guess
Oh,
that's a
okay.
good thing. I guess that's a good thing that I've never heard of her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Melly, that's how I thought it was going to be, and I muted a lot at the beginning when I was on the panel and trying to think of a uh, topic.
What to think of a topic for next time?
No, she was saying I'm afraid to come up because I get nervous around new people and I'll either talk too much or become silent and freeze. That was me at the beginning of this panel. So I think you would do great. Tara has a way
Yeah.
of uh, making people relax.
Oh my God, thank you. I was so worried too that if I had people on that, I wanted to make sure that they would be comfortable and they wouldn't be nervous or anything. And yeah, I was concerned about that. So I'm like super glad that you're saying that because that was something that was important to me. Yeah. I'm so glad.
I was worried that somebody would pop up and just derail um, our conversation into a negative way, but that hasn't happened. So this was wonderful.
Oh yeah, it truly was. I know, and I wasn't just gonna let any person on, like any like somebody that we've never even heard their name before. I wasn't gonna totally let any random person on, only because I didn't want to get like P bombs or something, where now I have to like delete my whole stream.
Do you know how to put a cover over your screen or something, like I see some other channels do?
There's a way to put like a wall up,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I
It's
don't
like
know
the
how to do
brick.
it, but that would be something good to learn
Yeah,
how to do as a
yeah.
teenager.
I'm gonna figure that out on StreamYard so that by next time I know how to do it. This way, yeah, it's like you put up this wall. It's like a brick wall or something, and it's like you can't see the screen behind it or something. It's hard to explain, but I get what you're talking about. Probably no one gets what I'm trying to explain, but it's like a picture of a brick wall that shows up on the screen, and then like I don't know, it's almost like a green screen or something.
And
But
I heard you earlier mentioning doing a live with a bunch of kids on there. I would just
yeah.
make sure that the parents were nearby because I don't know what I know YouTube has age restrictions
Okay,
because I see that I follow Team YouTube on Twitter, so I see
right.
people complaining about um different actions with children being seen on camera and stuff.
Okay,
I would just
yeah,
make sure like the parent is right there with the child, at least in the
right. Yeah, it might not be the best idea to have other people's kids on
un-
my street.
unless you well just have like with true for me for example if I
Right.
came on with Connor, we would both I would just to protect your channel, I would just say, okay, me and Connor have to be on camera together.
Yeah. Yeah,
That
I
way there's
totally get
a
that.
limit there.
Yeah, that's smart. That's good thinking. Yeah, that's a good idea. Right. Not just like a bunch of random kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like if I were to put Connor on, I know he wouldn't do something stupid, but
Yeah.
if he did something stupid, let's say he lifted up a knife, I don't want that to affect your channel.
Right. Yeah, no, I get it.
Now, if
I
it's
get
set
it.
for not for kids, does that ruin anything with her monetization for that live?
Um, so setting it not for kids, I'm not sure. I guess it limits your audience. It limits your audience, but I'm pretty sure you'd still be able to get super chats and everything. So yeah. Oh wait, no, no. A lot of things are not made for kids, right? A lot of things are not made for kids. It shouldn't affect the monetization, I
Reason
don't think.
reason I ask is because um remember, I don't know if you guys watched Molly then, but when Mallory was there, Marissa set something on her live by accident, and I think it was for under 18 or something. Something happened on the live to where she wasn't able to get super chats.
Oh, so then you know what? That is the age restriction. If you get age,
I forget what it was,
yeah, she probably got age restricted. One
but
of
it
her
was something
streams.
I remember.
Yeah, it was
I,
probably that. Sorry.
no, go ahead.
It was probably that somebody reported her for like whatever, cursing or bullying or whatever, something stupid. And then she got age restricted where she couldn't get super chat.
Okay, so Autumn, from what I'm understanding, you want her to the kids' live set it for not to set it for kids. I'm trying to
But
see.
maybe if you set your own stream as not made for kids, that's different than if they age restrict you. Because if you set it for not set for kids, then you're clearly telling them, like, I know this is not for children. But if you get age restricted, then it's like you put it out there as if it was okay and it wasn't, you know?
Ski's another dumpster fire. Sorry.
Oh, he
Ski.
gets it all the time. Age restricted. Oh, yeah. Well,
I misunderstood. Set it to not for kids, and you don't have to worry about it. Okay. So that live you would set not for kids.
oh, okay. Yeah, because this way you're putting it out there clearly that it's not meant for kids. So you're not like giving them any misinformation. Like, yeah, age restriction happens.
But
Less of
people would
respect
still be
that
able
way.
to join her membership and all that stuff. Why it's set like that?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Yeah. I got to double check on that. But yeah, a little, I literally bought a little figurine of a dumpster on fire, Melly. Oh yeah, I know Fierce Cannon. I know you were joking about that. She said, "Oh, I was totally joking about clipping y'all." I know.
I
But
never
this
heard of
time,
her until today.
oh really? Yeah, she's got a good channel. Fierce Cannon clips.
I'll have to check it out. I'm not the
Yeah,
I'm not
definitely.
the type where if you clip somebody that I adore that I'm going to be raging on your channel.
Oh really?
I'm not that type.
Oh,
I'll
I
watch.
thought you said I'm that type. I was like, oh
No,
really?
no. I'm not. I'm not.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I'm
you,
not.
you didn't
I have
seem
an
to
open
be.
mind. I have an open mind. I'm not one that will be like
Yeah.
you posted Molly. I hate you. Blah blah blah. Let me go and try to destroy. No, that's not me.
Do you follow her on Kick now?
I do, but when she goes live, most of the time I'm with my little ones now, so
Oh, okay.
I barely
Yeah.
I barely catch the lives. I'm there when I'm there, but not as often as I would like.
Yeah. That sucks. I wish that she could come back to YouTube, honestly. I wonder if Michelle was right. Michelle told me that, like, when you get banned from YouTube, that it's only for a year, and then after 1 year, you can reapply to come back to YouTube. I
Yeah,
thought that's it.
idea.
What?
I have no idea if that's true.
I don't know
Why
either.
would YouTube allow that?
I didn't think it was true when Michelle told me. I figured it was something that, like, somebody told her or whatever, and yeah. I didn't think it was true, but I'm just wondering now out of curiosity if it is true,
Even
you
if it
know?
was true, she's broken so many rules within this year
No,
that
not for Michelle, for Molly. If she could come back, though. We don't want Michelle back, but Molly might be fun, though.
I don't know. I just wish the best for Molly. I don't know what her plans are.
Yeah. I don't go on Kick, but I want to. I'm
I
gonna.
watch Charlotte sometimes goes on Kick.
Oh,
I
that's right. She
I watch
does.
it there. I like it there because it's less busy than YouTube for the chat. So any creator that's over on Kick, I would prefer to watch them there because I can follow the chat easier than YouTube because sometimes YouTube's chat flies.
Yeah. Sometimes it really flies where nobody could possibly keep up. Like, it's true. Yeah, I heard that the creators do really well over there on Kick, but
It's really easy to get monetized over there.
that's what I was hearing. I should check it out, right?
With that, um, you would need a computer. I think it's harder.
Oh, you do?
It's harder to do it via phone. I mean, you could do it via phone, but it's harder.
Okay. Oh,
And you
okay.
stream like if you were to get a Kick account, you could dual stream both on YouTube and Kick at the same time.
Oh, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
That's what Charlotte does sometimes, yeah. Huh, I'm gonna see if I can get on through my phone just to like just
The
to view it.
Do it through your browser because the app is still kind of laggy.
Okay.
So when you find them on there, press the heart, and that's how you follow them. If they ask to subscribe, that's where you pay the set amount to basically become their member.
That's what I was hearing, yeah.
But the app is good for notifications when they go live because if you don't have the app, the notifications all come to your email. But
Okay.
to watch, it's easier on your browser.
Okay. Oh, you can
You
use
restream,
Restream.
you can do a restream on your phone, but it's harder to read the comments, is from what I was told.
Okay.
And that's what they used. Restream is free for to stream it to a certain number of platforms. I think you can stream on two platforms at one time with Restream, and it'll be free. And then if you want to upgrade it, you can stream to more platforms.
Nice. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna see what I could figure out about it. Hopefully soon I'll be getting a laptop or a Chromebook or something.
Yeah, because StreamYard is not compatible with Kick.
Oh, it's not?
No,
Oh, it's gotta be Restream, right?
it has to be Restream or OBS.
Okay, that's what I was seeing, the Restream everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, if
Okay,
you're
I
on
had a
Restream, you
feeling.
most likely have an account over there.
Right. Oh, yeah. I'll see what I could learn about it, for now. And then when I get the laptop or the Chromebook, it'll be easier. I was thinking I might get a Chromebook, but I don't know how that will really be for streaming. But I think it might
Hmm.
be better than a laptop. I don't know.
I don't know. I'm very when it comes to like I have a MacBook and I barely know how to use it.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about technology at all either. I'm totally not tech savvy. I'm just learning a lot now, honestly. But like that's so I heard the Chromebook is a little bit easier to learn and navigate than a laptop
I would
because I've
assume
never even
most
had a
that
laptop.
schools use at least up here Chromebooks, so I'm assuming that's easier to use.
Yeah, I think it might be. It might be because I've also never even had a laptop, so it's not like I'm familiar with one because I'm not. I used to I worked but whenever I worked it was always on a desktop,
Hmm.
a desktop computer. So I mean laptops are same idea but a little bit different to navigate. Yeah. Some great oil laptops are a couple of $100. Yeah. Soon, soon, soon. I'm gonna have to do it. I know. Soon. This has been such a great stream though. This has been such a great stream. Thank
I
you so
can't believe
much.
it's 1:30 already.
Yeah. Thanks so much for joining. I really so appreciate it. I can't tell
Thank
you how
you
much
for
I appreciate
hosting
it. Aw.
and making me feel. You make me feel like I'm sitting on your couch.
I
Nice and
am so
I
glad. I'm so glad. I love it. That's exactly how I want people to feel when they
I
come
hope
here.
next I hope next time more people come on, and perhaps maybe do a poll and see what topic for the next panel, and then
Oh,
more people interested.
yes. Thank you. That is an awesome idea. Yeah, do a poll with like a couple of different options, right?
Yeah, and then
And
people could
see.
see if they'd be interested to join panel.
Definitely. And
But
then maybe I could, what's
these
it? Go
3
ahead.
hours went by quick because
They
I
sure
didn't even
did.
join panel today. I honestly didn't. I was just gonna hang out into your chat. So
And
these
I'm
three
so
hours went by.
glad. And to show that it doesn't have to be a stressful thing to come on panel. I want it to be an enjoyable thing where people could actually just relax and enjoy it. Yeah.
And it wasn't drama or fighting. Everybody was
No.
respectful. It was,
Yeah. I
and I
love it.
learned. I'm going to look into that behavioral thing you mentioned,
Oh,
for the
yeah.
younger ones, because that's something I learned tonight from you.
Absolutely. And especially you're in New York, so, it might be, I'm sure it might be available to you also. Yeah. She was called a behavioral modification coach.
I'm definitely
Yeah.
going to looking that up tomorrow to see with my
Oh,
little one,
yeah.
because that's an
It
amazing
was.
takeaway from tonight.
Oh yeah, it was a beautiful, beautiful thing. And to think 3 times a week, and
Mhm.
that went on for a good year. Oh yeah, we got really close and yeah, so, so helpful. I can't recommend it enough.
All right. Well, I'm
Absolutely.
going to jump down. Thank you so much for
Yes.
hosting this chat. Thank you
Thank you.
to me. I appreciated tonight's conversation. And
Thank you
we'll
so
talk.
much. Thank you. She was a wonderful panel guest. K Bear's mama, everyone. Thank you so much. Wow, we had awesome panel guests tonight, guys. True crime latest and K-Bear's mama, ladies and gentlemen. Well, thank you so much, guys. Thanks a million for an amazing stream. This was honestly so relaxing for me being off cam. I've been sitting here in my recliner the whole time. I've been in my recliner, just relaxing. Yeah. So this has been pretty chill, just sitting in my recliner, not worrying about like, what I look like or makeup or whatever. It's kind of cool to not be on cam all the time too. And I loved having panel guests. That was a great conversation. Melly, thank you so much. Fierce Cannon, thank you. Autumn Renee, thank you so much. Um, if one of my mods wouldn't mind going to Autumn Renee's and Fierce Cannon Clips channels and dropping their links, I wanted to be able to drop them. Oh, wait, hang on. I got it. I got it, guys. I got the other device here. I'm going to add those channels now. I'm going to put the links. You guys don't have to do it. I got it. Oh, one sec. I'm going to put the links for Fierce Cannon Clips and for Autumn Renee's channel. And yeah, one sec. And then I'll probably wrap up. Oh, Melly, you're too quick. Perfect. Melly got one and I got one. Thank you, Melly. Thank you, Melly. I really appreciate you modding for me, Melly. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate all the support, you guys, so much. Autumn Renee, Fierce Cannon Clips, Melly, and especially to True Crime Latest and K-Bear's Mama. Thanks a million, guys. And to everyone watching the replay, please enjoy and don't forget to like and subscribe. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap up here. Also, I pinned my Cash App, my Amazon wish list, and the link to join my membership. If anybody is interested, please hit the like button. It's a free way to help support my stream. Thanks a million, guys. I appreciate you being here. Please like and subscribe. Have a great night, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good night, guys. Bye-bye.